by Adam Wainwright, who was outstanding. Today, Milwaukee takes on a rookie in Adam Ottavino, and this is a day that if you're Milwaukee, you think we've got to go get this one.
Yeah, after getting 2 hits shut out by Adam Wainwright, you want to race to the bat rack if you're the Milwaukee Brewers offense and go get Adam Ottavino. He's a guy you have to find a way to get a W day, and we'll see what happens.
You glad that's over with?
I'm glad that's over with.
All right, good. You take a look at some of the hitters for the Cardinals. Holiday's been hot, and a reason why they're back on top of the division. But for Milwaukee, Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, 2 big bats. Hey, don't forget about him, Albert Pujols, with Mr. Holiday behind him. Cardinals, Brewers, next on Fox. Ready to tangle on a Saturday afternoon. Here's the lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Ken Maka put pen to paper. Came up with this group. Ricky Weeks leads it off at second base. Craig Counsell bats second. Ryan Braun is hitting third and left. Then it's Prince Fielder cleaning up. Casey McGee, the third baseman. Jim Edmonds, longtime Cardinal in center. Corey Hart, what a month of May he had. He's in right. The catcher is Kataris, and then it's Chris Narveson pitching and batting in the number 9 spot. And here are the numbers for Adam Ottavino. They're not very detailed because he's only made 1 big league start. That was last Saturday at Wrigley Field. We were there. But instead of the voice of Tim McCarver, it'll be the voice of Kevin Millar giving us the Sprint pitcher profile for this rookie right-hander.
Well, he's got big-time power arm. He's got a downward tilt. He's about 6'6", 6'7", which is like a bowling ball fastball. Hard to get off the bat, but he has to command the strike zone. Obviously, he walked 6 with the start against the Cubs, but I think this kid, everybody that has said something about him is that he throws the ball hard and a lot of movement on his fastball.
He is a former first-round pick, 30th overall back in '06, and here he is at the big league level in his second start in 2010. You look at the series history, and it has been dominated by Milwaukee in St. Louis. They've won 13 of the last 16 played between these clubs. The Cardinals, on the other hand, have turned it around in Milwaukee, and they've dominated play in the Brewers' home ballpark. This game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the thirst inning, the beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. First up for Milwaukee is Ricky Weeks. The Brewers check into this game 22-33. Compared to a year ago, they were 32-23. Right now, they're 10 games behind the Cardinals, and off we go. Strike one. Home plate umpire is Todd Tishner. Totally put together, and a guy who is number 4 among big league second basemen this season with his 31 RBIs. The 0-2 pitch is fouled back to the right. So you've got Weeks up now. Craig Counsell bats second, then Ryan Braun. This is a Milwaukee Brewers lineup that as a group they've hit 264. That's 4th best in the National League. But pitching wise, it has been a mess. A team ERA of 5.37. That is second worst in the NL. 0-2 pitch is outside, a little low, ball one.
Well, the thing about the Brewers, obviously 15th in pitching and 12th in fielding. You know, you have to pitch and catch the ball. But they got to find a way to turn around that bullpen and starting pitching.
Here's a 1-2 pitch, and that's well hit into left center field. Back at the wall, and a good start for Milwaukee. A leadoff home run for Ricky Weeks. His 9th of the year, and he starts this day with a bang into left center field. So Weeks takes the trip around the bases. 1 up, 1 run on this from the Milwaukee second baseman.
Looked like a hanging slider right there, middle of the plate. But right there, he stayed back. His head stayed behind the baseball. And like we were saying, he's as strong as they come, and he get the ball a long way and hard and let off with a home run. That's big for the Brew Crew.
So a good start for a team that's 11 games under 500, and now Craig Counsell takes a strike.
And look, this is a team, obviously, they had Wainwright throw a 2-hit complete game against them and really has found it. And now you have to find a way to get this young kid out of Vino.
Counsell rips at it. That's strike 2. 0-2 the count on Craig Counsell, who's hitting .291 and was slowed during the week with a strained quad.
Nicknamed Rudy in 1997 with the Florida Marlins.
Here's the 0-2 and a ground ball to second. Schumacher to his right makes the play, 1 out. I want to know more about Rudy, but first we need to look at the defense for the Cardinals. It's presented by Scott. No surprises in the outfield. Late addition to the starting lineup on the infield. Felipe Lopez is at short. Brendan Ryan, for precautionary reasons, is scratched from the lineup. He's got a groin strain, and Yadier Molina does the catching for Ottavino. Batter is Ryan Braun with Craig Counsell in the dugout, and a guy who literally doesn't look like he has aged since he was playing with that World Championship club.
He's the only 40-year-old you're going to see that looked the same as he did in 1997. There's not a gray hair on him.
Our director, Jim Lynch, is feverishly trying to find Craig Counsell in the dugout right now.
I mean, I looked at him yesterday. I said, where are your gray hairs? We're all getting old. You're the only guy that looks the exact same.
1 ball, no strikes on Ryan Braun, and now with 1 out, there's a strike over the inside corner. There he is.
There's all counts, but he's a baseball player. These are the guys you need on a team. Obviously, a team's obviously going to have, 3, 4 superstars, but he's the guy you need on a team. He's a ball player, knows the game, and hard nose.
Here's a 1-1 pitch with 1 out, foul back to the right. Now, you can do things about gray hair. I've taken some steps in my life that I never thought I would take, and you've got like frosted tips going.
Yeah, and at what age do I stop doing that, JoJo?
Do not ever stop.
The highlights, the fake teeth. I've got 3 kids, 1 on the way. I mean, I got to grow up at some point, you'd think.
No, don't. We're all trying to fight father time. Here's a 1-2 pitch with 1 out, and the fastball is high. You see the velocity for Ottavino. He's in the mid-90s, as you talk about. A guy who did walk 6 in his major league debut at Wrigley Field last Saturday.
Well, you know, when you're facing a guy this big, it's almost like you got to get the ball down.
Here's a 2-2. Right down the chute. 2 out.
See, this is a perfect example right here. 2-seam backdoor sinker, they call that, which starts away and comes back to the plate, so a hitter gives up on it. And that's what we see as a hitter. We read it outside, but that ball comes back in. It was like the old Greg Maddux fastball they used to throw to inside the lefties. So that's a nice pitch, but he's got velocity. Max is about 85.
Here's Prince Fielder with 2 out, nobody on. Maddux did a lot with 85. There's a strike over the inside corner.
It really is amazing. I mean, he threw and dominated this game between 85 and 90 miles an hour for about 18 years, and what he's done is unbelievable.
0-1 the count, 2 out, nobody on. Fielder comes up empty. That's strike 2. I always liked Greg Maddox's philosophy that in the tight situations when the game was on the line, he got softer. Everybody else tried to muscle up and come out of their shoes throwing a fastball. He made it easier on himself, took something off, and that really was the key to his success.
That is exactly what he said in spring training. When you're in trouble, throw slower. As young pitchers, when they get in trouble, first and second bases loaded, they want to try to throw the ball harder. And we can all hit 100 miles an hour. But the ones like Greg Max and Glavine, they would not give in to you. And you're exactly right when you made that.
Here is an 0-2 pitch to Prince Fielder, and a late swing and a foul. If you want to see your name on air, play MLB on Fox. Tune in to win now on foxsports.com/tunein. Make your predictions during today's game between these 2 ball clubs. Actually, the Mariners and the Rays. No, this has got to be an old card. The Cardinals and the Brewers. Hurry up. Your predictions must be submitted by the end of the 2nd inning. Here's a ground ball to the right side. I'll finish reading this card by the end of the 2nd inning. You can stick around to increase your chances of winning in the 7th inning. Bonus question. Just watch the home run and listen to my voice. Winners will be announced on air during the 9th inning. Log in and play. 1-0. Weeks, and now the Cardinals will come to the plate, bottom of the 1st inning, and their lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bunt. Felipe Lopez leads it off. He's been a good leadoff hitter for St. Louis. Ryan Ludwig back 2nd. Albert Pujols, you know about him, backed up by Matt Holliday. Then David Freese, Yadier Molina, Colby Rasmus, Skip Schumacher, and Adam Ottavino pitching and batting in the number 9 spot against a former Cardinal farmhand and a guy who made his major league debut with the Cardinals in 2006, Chris Narveson, as we look at his sprint pitcher profile.
I tell you, Chris Narvison's got a great changeup. Does have a good curveball. Will get some swings and misses. But the thing about him, he hits better than he bunts. I guess he could swing the bat. He can rake. So maybe in a bunt situation, we'll see him swing the bat. And he's a battler. He's played, 6 years in the minor leagues. This guy's the guy you want in your foxhole. And it'll be interesting today. He needs to throw the ball well, though.
You like those battlers?
I like those battlers. 6 years in minor leagues, that means he's ridden some bus rides and had some Taco Bell.
Here's Lopez taking one in the dirt. Ball one. How long did you have to persevere in the minor leagues?
About 6.5 years. And when you're going from Portland, Maine to Canton, Ohio, 20 hours, wow.
Here's a pitch down and in for ball two. 2-0 from Narvison. That's where I would imagine they'll learn to love this game. And you figure out that you do love it when you're riding buses and living the life that you're living and becoming close with your teammates and trying to fight your way to the big leagues. There's a strike, 2-1.
It makes you appreciate when you get to this level. It's baseball. This is what we die to grow up and be as Major League Baseball players. So why not have fun and appreciate every day?
Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes as Lopez fouls one off to the right. And yet here you are, a battler in the minor leagues, and you're working your first ever game in the history of the life of Kevin Millar at the big league level on the Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week with a headset on.
With Joe Buck. Oh. Does it get any better than this in St. Louis? Huh?
2 balls, 2 strikes. Lopez leading it off, down and in, full count. So you just jump right to the big league level. Meanwhile, I got my start the good old-fashioned way, nepotism.
Listen, this has been, I'm going to be honest with you, threw me off right as a big boy. I went to Lamar.
Here's a shot into the corner off the bat of Felipe Lopez, and a good start for the Cardinals. A leadoff double by Lopez with Ludwig, Pujols, and Holiday coming up. Narvison, he was battling, and Felipe Lopez won the little battle to start the day.
Little fastball missed his location on the inside corner right there. The catcher wanted it away. But those are the mistakes that we hit as hitters. We need mistakes. When they execute their pitches, we're usually out. But right there, Felipe did a nice job of capitalizing on a mistake for a double.
Here is Ryan Ludwig, who's been a good number 2 hitter. He is produced in this spot in the lineup that Tony La Russa is always toying around with. And that spot is the guy hitting in front of Albert Pujols. There's a strike over the inside corner.
I mean, with Albert, you want protection behind him. If you're going to hit in front of him, obviously Ryan, which has got some big power, it's nice to put a guy that can hit 30 home runs in front of Albert also. So obviously you can get more fastballs hitting in front of Albert, and that's maybe the theory behind Tony La Russa's decision.
You see his average with runners in scoring position, and that's exactly what La Russa talks about. He wants a guy with extra base potential and a guy who can hit the ball out of the park. He calls it a guy who can do damage in the number 2 spot in front of Pujols to kind of jumpstart this offense and make it tougher on the pitcher with Albert coming up.
Especially you're going to get some fastballs. Ryan's obviously a great fastball hitter. Rarely do you ever hear a guy, this guy's a great split finger hitter or a great slider hitter, but you'll hear slider bat speed. But Ryan Ludwig's a great fastball hitter, hitting ball out of the park. And you know what? Hitting in front of Albert, it's a great spot for him.
2 balls and a strike. A leadoff double by Felipe Lopez. Brewers lead 1-0. Narvison on the mound, and a broken bat pop-up. Counsell, the shortstop. Glasses on, hauls it in, 1 away. And we take a look at the Brewers defense as presented by Scott. You know, the shortstop is Counsell, but in the outfield it's Braun in left, Edmonds in center, Corey Hart in right. Around the infield it's McGee, Counsell, Weeks, and fielder. Catcher is Kataris, and the pitcher is the left-hander Narvison, who 2 times has been in the Cardinal organization and was moved into the Brewers rotation at the end of April. Here's Pujols. The numbers that Albert Pujols has put up his first 10 seasons at the big league level are staggering, and in one of those categories, RBIs, he is now moved in front of Lou Gehrig with 1,153 RBIs in his first 10 seasons in the big leagues, and he's top 5 in that category.
All the good ones make it look so easy. It's not that easy, and Albert has done that, I'm telling you, for the first 7-8 years that he's been in the big leagues. And I think he has spoiled us, because then he goes to human in May and hits about 260, you know, and we all think, oh, what happened to Albert? That's okay. They call it an average for a reason, but the good ones find a way to make it look so easy. And Albert has been phenomenal since day one in the big league level.
0-2 is the count. As you see where Pujols ranks, RBIs in his first 10 seasons, he is in front of Lou Gehrig, and the names in front of him on that list are some of the all-time greats. Here's one into left center field. At the wall, Pujols goes deep, 2-1 St. Louis. Home run number 13 for number 5.
Right here, he takes the first pitch, fastball right down the middle. Albert just wanted to see a pitch. Then he goes ahead and makes in the curveball right there, swing and miss. 0-2, tries to come in once again, misses his spot, and you cannot do that with Albert Pujols right down the middle for a 2-run home run. And that's the good hitters make it capitalize on those mistakes the pitchers make.
Well, the minute everybody started to pile on about that May average that you talked about, Kevin Millar, Pujols last Sunday went deep 3 times in a game at Wrigley Field. He has been getting hotter. The guy behind him at the plate right now, Matt Holliday, has been getting hotter. And as those two heat up, Cardinals have retaken the top spot in the NL Central. And really, if you combine hitting with the pitching that they're getting, they're going to be tough to beat.
Well, they are. And anytime they all click, rarely in a lineup do you all click. But when you get Holliday and Pujols swing the bat well, it's scary in that 3-4 hole. But right there, you can't make that mistake. You're 0-2 to Albert. You have a base open. You got to get that ball in, and he wasn't able to do that.
3-0 now the count on Holliday, as Narbison has to be a little rattled. And he misses with 4 straight to Matt Holliday. So it has not been a good start for Narbison, and it's more of the same for the Milwaukee Brewers. As an outsider, you look at the Brewers and you say, okay, they've got Ricky Weeks, who drives in a lot of runs. They've got Ryan Braun, who's been one of the best players in the game since he came up. They've got Prince Fielder, who's as strong and as powerful and as good a hitter as any slugging first baseman in the game. A young kid in Casey McGee. Corey Hart led the league in home runs in May. Here's Holliday taking off, and he's safe with a stolen base, number 5, and he's at second with 1 out. But it's the pitching that is done in the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's been a rough start already for Narbison.
He was going first move right there, Matt Holliday. As soon as he goes home, you really have no chance right there.
Pretty good throw by Kataris, who struggled in that category. Now the Brewers are under 20% in throwing out potential base stealers, and Kataris is 1 for 22.
So he used to catch Wakefield, so maybe he's not used to throwing guys out. Wakefield throwing that knuckleball.
Playing defensive back there, just trying to catch it. That's strike 2 on David Freese.
But you look at the Milwaukee Brewers, and we talked about this a little bit in the pregame. You still have over 100 baseball games left. Somebody has to step up, though, and start pitching. Like, for instance, you come out and score 1 in the first, a big shutdown inning right now for Chris to come out and get that team back in the dugout to start swinging the bats. And obviously he's not trying to make a mistake, but gives up a 2-run home run to Albert Pujols. Now we're kind of behind the 8 ball again.
2-1 is the score. David Freese at the plate, runner at second with 1 out. Only out in the inning, the pop-up by Ludwig. Freese off to a terrific start here in 2010. The 1-2 pitch is hit in the air to left. Back is Braun, and in front of the track, that's out number 2. Back to the bag is Matt Holliday, and Tony La Russa in his 15th season in the dugout for St. Louis. 8-time divisional champion. 2 times he's won the pennant, won the World Series back in 06.
That's a lot of W's right there.
Number 3 on the all-time list.
And you know what? Like him, hate him. Again, when you're playing against Tony La Russa, he has done a great job. He always finds a way to win, period.
Runner at second, 2 out for Yadier Molina, who takes ball 1 up and away. I don't know of a guy in baseball, especially a manager, where it seems like there's no gray area with Tony La Russa. And I think those who are around him on a regular basis realize that he is a lot more and a lot deeper than just that grinder mentality in the corner of the dugout. He's got a big heart, very charitable guy. Would take the shirt off his back for you, but the perception around baseball is that he'll have his guy hit your hitter. He will make a lot of pitching changes. He'll do whatever it takes to try to get under your skin. He is more than that, but you can understand the reputation from those who don't really know him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was one of the first men, obviously, to hit the pitcher 8th, and whoever's going to hit 9th behind the pitcher, it's going to raise some red flags if you're that hitter hitting behind the pitcher. But the one thing with Tony, like I said, there's no gray area. And when he's on your side, he brings a presence. And I think that's the one thing you're going to get is the knowledge of the game.
Here's a 4-pitch walk for the second time in the inning. This time it's to Yadier Molina. Colby Rasmus, who went deep last night and hit his first home run this season off the lefty. Randy Wolf will step to the plate. And for Colby Rasmus, that was home run number 9 on the year.
His first one off the left-hander. That was it's a big plus right there. He hit a curveball from Randy Wolf, right? And that you could take some steps forward, because obviously lefties on lefties start becoming a mental thing.
2 on, 2 out, and a ball outside. Colby Rasmus got new contacts during the week. That happened on Tuesday morning. That night he went 3 for 5 with a home run, and he's been working with his dad, Tony, batting cage in the St. Louis area, trying to iron out some of the problems in his swing as he comes up empty, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, the reason why most of the time you don't see a whole lot of left-hand starters. So lefties get in their head that they struggle against lefties, because most of the time you're going to face a specialist out of the bullpen. And right there, like last night, he hit a curveball, and he's facing another lefty today.
Here's a throw behind the runner. Holiday gets back.
That he might buy himself a fastball off him, and you might have back-to-back days where you start getting that swagger and confidence facing lefties, and then it just goes on.
3 left-handed starters in this series for Milwaukee. That will end with Parra on the mound tomorrow, taking the place of Dave Bush, taking his start. Here's a 2-1 pitch. And a fly ball into right center field that was cracked at the wall. It's at the base of the wall. 2 runs are going to score, and Colby Rasmus is heating up. 4-1 St. Louis in the first.
Well, Colby Rasmus right there buys himself a fastball, and we just talked about that. He hit a curveball last night. They try to fool him with a fastball, and a great swing right there. His head did not move once again for a 2 RBI double right there. Great swing right there by Colby.
I want you to go back over what you just said as Rick Peterson will pay a visit to the mound. Because he hit the home run, Rasmus, last night on a breaking ball against the lefty Wolf, he may have bought himself a fastball here today against the left-hander Narveson. He got the fastball and he crunched it.
Yeah, those are the games we play on opposing catchers. And like I said, here's a fastball right down the middle that Colby puts a great swing. Doesn't try to do too much with. And, listen, we're all fastball hitters. And that's what he's looking. And last night he bought himself for hitting the curveball last night. He just bought himself a fastball with 1st and 2nd with 2 outs.
Now it's Schumacher, another left-handed batter. He takes a strike, and from what was a 1-0 Milwaukee lead on the home run by Ricky Weeks, it's now 4-1 St. Louis, as they have 2 doubles, a home run, 2 walks in the inning, and a chance for more with Schumacher hitting .249. That's outside. The .249 average won't impress you, except he hit .212 through the month of April. So Schumacher has been getting hot. His Cardinal lineup is starting to pick it up.
And this is not the shutdown inning you wanted. Look at the Brewers.
Here's the 1-1 on the outside corner. Strike 2. Look at where the Milwaukee pitching ranks in the National League. Realize that there are only 16 teams in the National League, and you can see how they have struggled. 4 runs on 3 hits in the inning. And for the Cardinals, first-year hitting coach Mark McGwire, who's been a lightning rod ever since he agreed to take that job. Watched his team hit a lot of home runs in April. struggled through the month of May, and now in June things are getting better. From the hole, it's Counsell. He can still do it, and that ends the inning. 8 men come to the plate. The highlight of the inning, an 0-2 pitch to Pujols. He knew what to do with it. 4-1, St. Louis after 1. By the new 2011 Mustang, a whole new breed of car, and by Sprint, the Now Network. Up above on this hot day, the humidity probably keeping it in the air. Our aerial coverage is provided by DirecTV. Get every MLB game in the most HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Casey McGee digs his way in. Jim Edmonds will follow, and then Corey Hart against Adam Ottavino, who didn't get any of this in his first start at Wrigley when his ball club was shut down by Carlos Silva in a 5-0 Cubs win. Silva went 7, allowed no runs on 2 hits, and struck out 11. There's strike 2 on McGee, so a little breathing room for the 24-year-old Ottavino.
Yeah, obviously Carlos Silva throws a gem in Chicago, who is 7-0 for the Cubs, but today he gets out here and gets 4 runs in the first inning, and he's got a chance now to get kind of relax out there, get his feet set, and hopefully get the Cardinals in the 7 innings or more.
And there's nobody that's watched this Cardinal team over the past 10-15 years that looks at Ottavino. He's a right-hander wearing number 35 and doesn't think of Matt Morris, who wore that number here with the Cardinals, wore it well as Ottavino misses down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The thing about the Cardinals, they have big pitchers. Everybody's big. Have you noticed that? They're big right-handers, fastball, cutter, sinker, curveball. And boy, oh boy, they just draft.
Here's a little shot into center off the hands, and it just hangs up. Colby Rasmus, who got a good jump and made the catch. Our 4 keys to the game as brought to you by Kevin Millar.
Well, Milwaukee, top of the line's got to get on. Ricky Weeks leads off with a homer. Great. Number 2, though, we did not manage Pujols on that 0-2 pitch. We missed, and he hit a home run. St. Louis, Adams got to control the strike zone. He's got great fastball, great stuff. Trust his stuff. Control the strike zone, and have a Matt Holliday. He might be the key, hitting behind Albert Pujols.
With 1 out, nobody on. The batter is Jim Edmonds, who gets a nice hand. His first year with Milwaukee, sat out last year. He's about to turn 40, and he can still hit.
And here's a guy, he's got a few more grays, but he still looks great at 40.
He does. Well, he's kind of in the Frosted Tips salon with you.
It's the number 15, I think.
Is that it?
Yeah, and he's the real number 15.
Come on, don't sell yourself short. 2-0 the count from Ottavino, and there's a rocket into right. Back is Ludwig for out number 2.
Nice play right there by Ryan Ludwig.
Well, here's Edmonds, Kevin, who is now 0 for 13 since coming back to Busch Stadium now as a visiting player. You can't hit a ball harder than this.
No, and his power is usually left center right there. He crushed that ball, and Ryan Lubbock made a nice, he had a great jump on that ball. And that's a tough play, that hard line drive coming at the right fielder, because you take one step in, that ball's over your head for a double. That's a great jump on by Ryan.
So with 2 out, nobody on, here is Corey Hart, who pops it up. Shallow right. In comes Ludwig. His legs are stretched out now, and a 1-2-3 inning for Ottavino. Bottom of the second rolls in. Ottavino will lead it off. He and the Cardinals lead the Brewers 4-1. What we do. Downtown St. Louis, Busch Stadium. It's in essence the third generation of Busch Stadium. It's the 4th year they've been playing here. And this place was debuted in '06. That season ended with a world championship, the 10th in Cardinal history, as Ottavino takes a strike. Ottavino, then Lopez, then Ludwig. Anybody gets on, Albert Pujols. Ottavino throws right, bats left, and he's in the hole 0-2.
Played at Northeastern. Went to college there, which was 1 block from Dukakis's home.
Really? There's strike 3. Go ahead.
And you know what he did with the signing bonus? The first thing he did? He paid back all of his scholarship money. Most of us go out and buy a car, tint our windows, maybe get some rims. He paid back all the student loans, so you got to love that.
So that was Ottavino, who was a 30th overall selection back in '06.
I went to LA City Junior College, which was $150 for my tuition the first semester.
Yeah.
And my St. Paul Saints signing bonus was about $685, so it took me about 2 semesters to pay that out.
Weren't you playing earlier this year? You were playing baseball, right?
I went and played with the St. Paul Saints. Their first 6 games, I started there in 1993, 17 years ago. I said, if this is it, how awesome is it to finish where you started?
1 ball, 1 strike on Felipe Lopez, who started this game with a double. Scored on the home run by Albert Pujols, and now he's backed up on the count 1-2. How about that? That's Keener Plaza. Just, what would that be, north of here? And the marriage is off to a rocky start. Somebody just said that in the truck. I can't take credit for that line. There's a swinging strike and back-to-back strikeouts to start this second inning. Look at that, huh? How'd they get out there? Were they airlifted onto those rocks?
How cool is that?
It's cool.
I would have slipped, fallen, need a new tuxedo, wedding's over.
2 out, nobody on for Ryan Ludwig. You never know what you're going to find in any given city when you have a blimp on hand. But that's compliments from DirecTV. So their wedding is in HD. Seriously, I don't care about this part. I want to see him get off the rock.
That's right.
There they go. Leaping across the water. With 2 out, nobody on, Ludwig is in the hole 0-2 and a much better inning.
Who thinks of that, by the way? Like, who wakes up and says, you know what, let's go in the middle of a rock?
The wedding planner.
Right? And who agrees to it?
He's not helping his wife. There.
If we had a man down there, that would have been great live TV.
It's also tough to make a wedding dress look good with a life vest on. How about Narveson? Strikes out the side in the second. We go to the third. Ottavino back to the hill. It's 4-1 St. Louis, and those people are married. We are in the third inning. St. Louis leading Milwaukee 4-1. And Adam Ottavino finds the strike zone with his first pitch. Now the Cardinals, their pitching is fantastic this season. Their overall team ERA is 2.97. They have 3 rookies in their rotation right now. There's 1 on the mound, 2 in the dugout, and one of the 2 in the dugout, Jaime Garcia, is wearing a headset for us and nice enough to join us on Fox Saturday Baseball. And we're going to talk to him after Kataris does something, and that something is a base hit into center field to begin the third inning, and the Brewers need to get something going. Well, Jaime, first of all, congratulations. I mean, you deserve so much credit for the kind of start that you're off to. Your ERA is ridiculous, 1.32. You've made 10 starts, 5-2. You got to feel great standing down there right now.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident about myself. You know, feeling healthy now. coming back from surgery. So I'm really excited about this season and trying to keep it up.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, you're a young guy still, but you've been through some pretty serious situations with your elbow, including major reconstruction, and yet here you are rolling through the first 2 months of your big league career as Ottavino now deals with a pitcher, Narveson, and he steps off. Do you feel that elbow's completely back?
Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, I feel like say about 90% now, but it was tough, man. You know, when I came up here in 08, it was the injury and all that. It was kind of tough, but kept my head up and try to do my rehab as the best I could and work on all the little things I needed to work on and coming in spring it felt really good and they took it easy with me but thank God everything worked out good and I'm here, I'm feeling healthy and just try to keep it up.
1 ball, no strikes on Narveson. Now a strike from Ottavino. Did you go to spring training thinking, be honest, that you legitimately had a chance to be in the rotation for Tony La Russa this season?
You know what? A lot of people were asking me, they were saying, their coach is talking about sending you to AAA because your innings and this and that. But the thing I try to do this offseason is trying not to pay attention to anything else, but trying to get ready and trying to get 100% physically and mentally. And when going to spring training, I just prepare myself. Whenever I get a chance to go out there and pitch, just try to do the best I can and try not to worry about all the little things, all those things. Just worry about one thing, which is pitching. And I think that worked out really good and I'm winning the job.
3 balls and a strike on Narveson, who's up there trying to bunt. Now, Kevin, you've already said, and we're taking a break from Jaime for a minute, that Narveson is a better hitter than he is punter. He's not even getting a chance to do that.
Well, he's hitting 385. We got 3-1 count right now. Huh?
3 balls and a strike, and now 3 balls and 2 strikes. First of all, Jaime, you're making a rookie mistake by doing an interview with players anywhere around you. You know they're going to give you trouble since you're the young guy. Is anybody looking at you sideways? Who's that?
Yeah.
Brendan Ryan of all people?
Yeah, Brendan Ryan's right here. Give him a Gatorade and gums and everything.
He throwing stuff at you?
Not really.
Here's a bunt back to the pitcher, and Ottavino will flip for the out. Down to second is Gutierrez on the sacrifice. You came out in your last start, I believe, was on Monday, and there was about an hour rain delay. You pitched okay. Sat down for an hour, and a guy with a history of a bad elbow comes back out. You look better after the rain delay than you did before the rain delay.
Yeah, I feel even better. I went back in there and talked to the veterans for a little bit. They gave me a little advice on what to do, try to stay warm and put some heat on my arm and rub the bag for a little bit and just try to stay focused, mentally and physically to stay a little warm and you're right. I came back in the 4th inning and it felt even better. So
here's a fly ball into right. Long run for Ludwig. He is there, and in foul ground makes the catch. Tagging going to third is Gutierrez, 2 out. Nice running catch. Ludwig's been busy out in right field.
I'll tell you what, he's been unbelievable out there in right field. You think all offense, and he's made some great plays out there in right.
Here's that play down the right field line by Ryan Ludwig, and typically we do these interviews and the inning lasts about 28 seconds and then the guy's gone before we have a chance to say thank you. Everybody seems to want to give the Rookie of the Year award to Jason Hayward, the left-handed stud hitter for the Atlanta Braves. I know you're not thinking in these terms, but people need to realize the kind of start you're off to in your big league career. Are you aware of how good your beginning has been, and do you look at the stats this early in the season?
Yeah, I don't personally look at the stats, but you got family and friends telling you all the, your ERA, your wins and this and Rookie of the Year. But I try to do the best I can of not think about those things. That's the same thing I did in spring training. I just try to, worry about one thing, which is prepare myself as best I can for each start and stay healthy. That's my main goal for this year. If Rookie of the Year comes or any stuff like that, that's going to be a plus. At the end of the year, I can look at that and be like, look at my number and be it was a good year. But now just try to worry about my next start and try to prepare myself, and that's the only thing.
2-0 the count, and now a foul right to you. You could have reached out and grabbed that foul ball, Jaime. It's 2-1.
Hey, I don't want to hurt myself.
No, don't do that.
Hey, Jaime, Kevin Millar here. Who is the one veteran pitcher that you've leaned on the most, that has really helped you, or that you picked their brain the most? Usually there's one guy that you lean on.
You know, all the guys are great. You know, Loesch, Penny, Hart, and Waino. But I would say the guy that I've talked to the most would be Adam Wainwright. You know, he's, you know, the same with Chris Carpenter. You know, the two of the best pitchers in baseball. But Waino, he's helped me so much. He's given me a lot of advice, and you know, I just feel so grateful to have this opportunity. I don't think it can get any better for a young guy to, you know, have this opportunity with, you know, these two of the best pitchers in baseball, and I just feel so grateful to be here, you know, and plus having the best catcher in baseball, that's another thing that, you know, I just feel so, you know, it's an awesome opportunity for me.
You ever shake off Yadier Molina?
Actually, I shook him off this year, and you know, it didn't work out. He didn't really hit. So,
that'll teach you.
But, you know, the thing with him is I trust him so much, and, you know, I feel that confidence that whatever he's going to put down is going to work out. So, you know, that's the thing. You know, he's the best at it.
Jaime, thank you. We appreciate your time, my friend, and congratulations on the great start.
All right, thank you.
That's Jaime Garcia, about to turn 24 on July 8th. He's on a roll. So are the Cards today. Pujols, Matt Holliday, David Freese, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Cardinals against Narvason. Much better in the second inning than he was in the first. We had a chance to visit with Jaime Garcia of the St. Louis Cardinals, the rookie left-hander who's off to a great start. And one of the hottest pitchers in the National League is, without a doubt, Giovanni Gallardo, who is nice enough to put on a headset and join us from the Milwaukee dugout. We're going to talk it over with Giovanni during this third inning. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Pujols. It's low. 3 balls, no strikes. I bet the view is better from where you are, Giovanni, with Pujols at the plate than it is when you're 60 feet 6 inches away from him, staring at him with a bat in his hands.
Yeah, it's a little bit better here in the dugout. But you know, every time you get the opportunity to face a guy like that, you know, he's a great hitter. He just adds a little bit more excitement to the game.
And you have to be really happy, and you should be very proud of the way you've pitched. I know you had a rough first couple of starts, but you've won your last 6 decisions, and you appear to be on a great roll from Milwaukee right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said. I had a couple of rough starts there to start off the year, but I've been feeling good. I've been feeling very good throughout the year, and just a matter of staying consistent and keep moving forward.
How's it gone with the new pitching coach, first-year pitching coach Rick Peterson for you guys?
It's gone pretty good. I got a chance to work with him going into spring training and just trying different things. Every pitching coach is going to have a different view on pitching, and we really focused on mechanics, repeating mechanics, and being out there and putting less stress as possible on your elbow and shoulder.
As you prepare for your next start, now your next start is at the beginning of the week at home against Chicago. When do you start thinking about your next start, and when do you start preparing for it?
I think right away. I think right as a starting pitcher, I think you need those 4 days to prepare yourself, whether you be doing scouting report, looking over hitters, and certain things that you have to work on it during your bullpen and things like that. I think it automatically starts the following day.
Let's watch this 0-1 pitch first to Matt Holliday. Fouled straight back, and he took a rip. We hear so much, Giovanni, about hitters and their use of videotape and them going back and watching at bats. How much videotape do pitchers study? How much videotape do you study from start to start, or even during a start when you're pitching at all?
Yeah, I think it's just like you said. Hitters go out there and watch a lot of video on the pitchers. It's the same way for a pitcher. I think, the more you get to see that hitter, whether it be on video or just right now, just watching Holiday up there hitting, there's little things you can take from each at-bat, and I think it's a huge advantage just to be able to have that. And even during the game, while the game's going on, you can go inside and just take a look at a certain pitcher and see what the hitter's trying to do.
But are you looking at yourself, too? Are you looking at mechanics during the course of a game, or is that pushed off to the side until you get some side work in?
Yeah, I think that's more pushed off to the side. I just wanted to see other pitchers that have similar stuff, how they approach a certain hitter and how they pitch to them.
Here's a 5-4-3 double play turned very nicely by Milwaukee on a ball hit by Matt Holliday. It started with McGee with Ricky Weeks in the middle, and Weeks just got it to first in time to get Matt Holliday. Do you feel pressure, Giovanni, being the guy that's doing so well in this rotation, knowing that every time out this Brewers team is looking to you to get a victory out of that rotation?
Not at all. I don't think it's any extra pressure. Just like I've always said, every time I get the opportunity to go out there, and I'm doing all I can just to keep the team in it and give us a chance to win. I think that's the number one thing that I have in mind and focus on.
We hear so much about the St. Louis heat. I grew up here, the humidity. It was worse when the field was AstroTurf. That's well before your time. But how hot is it standing down there in the dugout right now?
It's very hot. I might have to go back inside and change my shirt. I'll tell you that. The sun is nice and warm down here, but.
So we're forcing you to sweat on your off day?
No, it's good. It's nice and warm, but I really don't mind this weather at all. Just being from Texas, so it's pretty much the same thing.
Hey, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us today, Lonnie.
Thank you.
And keep it up. Fourth inning, 4-1, St. Louis. Mark with ink. Here we go into the fourth, and first pitch hacking is Ryan Braun. He pops it up down the right field line, and it's hauled in by Pujols in foul territory. One pitch, one out in the fourth. We have trivia. I promise, Millar, you're going to get a chance to talk here in a second. Mercedes-Benz trivia question. Adam Wainwright recorded his first career shutout last night. Who is the active shutout leader? Among all active pitchers, Kevin, who would you guess would be the shutout leader?
Shutout leader, it just came to my brain, I would guess Roy Halladay.
That would be my pick.
That because of just he goes deep in the games every single night. So to pitch a shutout, you got to pitch 9 innings. That'd be my guess.
You're right, and I don't know that people realize that. Here's Fielder, and he grounds one into right field. Waiting there is Schumacher, who used to play the outfield. Got a chance to do it again right there. 2 out. You have to pitch 9 innings. People say, well, he pitched a shutout for 7 innings. Well, yeah, he pitched 7 innings, no runs, but you have, for it to be quote unquote a shutout, you have to go all 9. And I would say, of all the guys, Halladay is the one who finishes what he starts.
He's the guy. And to win at this level, you have to give your bullpen 3 outs, 4 outs, maybe 5 outs to expect to win 20. And that's the difference with Roy Halladay. He's given his bullpen 3 to 5 outs. When you give your bullpen 12 outs and you go 5 innings or 6 innings, you're asking a whole lot leaving the game unless it's a blowout. So it's one of those things. Roy is one of the few that does not have a pitch count when he goes out there. He goes by how he feels.
There's Casey McGee. He has a perfect game this year. Did that to the Florida Marlins. McGee takes a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. And I liked what you were talking about when we were putting down the stats into our score sheet, or at least I was, and you were looking at me do it. And that was that if you've got a starting pitcher that'll go deep into ball games, that's the difference. And a rotation that's getting outs, it doesn't show the underbelly of the pitching staff like you're going to get with some clubs that aren't getting a lot out of their rotation. That's when teams go to work against middle relief. I've dominated another inning. I'm sorry, Kevin. Still 4.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
It
the
is.
Kids at the ball game. Beautiful Saturday here in St. Louis.
117 degrees with the humidity.
Greener than I thought. All I usually saw was the hotel to the stadium. Got a chance to kind of look at that pretty little building you took me to.
Yeah, we went by the art museum today at Forest Park. I never thought I'd take Kevin Millar there. All the games I've done of yours, I never thought you'd be there with me at Art.
We had nice coffee and some water. It was a nice drive today.
Here's a pitch up and away. Yadier Molina, 1 ball, 1 strike. There it is. From up above. A 4-1 St. Louis lead. The Brewers struck first with a home run by Ricky Weeks, and then the Cardinals got 4 in the bottom half. Here's Weeks to his right, and Molina is out to start the 4th inning. Nationwide, thousands of communities have gotten involved as Chevy and Scotts have set out to rebuild local ballparks. Don't miss your chance to get involved and to win a new Chevy at ChevyBaseball.com. Here's Rasmus.
See, Chris has settled down now. He started hitting the spots better. You know, so, I mean, you get some field swings out there, and when the pitcher executes their spots, it's a different scene at home plate.
Well, his big problem has been in the first inning. A guy who started the year in the bullpen. His ERA is big. Narveson in the first inning, and then he's had the ability to settle down and settle into a game as Rasmus takes ball 2, 2-0.
Just off the plate right there.
Colby with a 2-run double back in the first inning. Took it from 2-1 to 4-1, and that's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1.
Perfect example. 2-0 pitch right there, down and away, hit his spot instead of just throwing a ball right down the middle, and next thing you know, it could be 5-1.
That's outside, 3-1. Narveson's ERA in the first inning is 9. The second inning on, it's about half that. It's still not shutdown pitching, but it's better. He just has a tough time getting acclimated. There's ball 4, and for Narveson, that's his 4th walk. Major League Baseball and People Magazine are recognizing individuals who make a difference in their community. Go to peopleallstars.com and vote for your favorite everyday all-star who could represent your club and be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim on July 13th on Fox. Will you be a part of our coverage, Kevin?
I'll be a part. I'm not sure yet.
Is that
Wife's due. Wife's due end of June with our 4th child, so I got to play it by ear.
Okay.
It's a week late. Maybe. Yeah, but I'll be looking to get to the All-Star Game at that point.
You're paying us. There goes Rasmus. Pitch is a ball. Throw down is not close. And Kataris is getting sick of watching guys steal at will against him. Now 1 for 23 throwing out base stealers.
Yeah, poor George had no chance there. And you know what? That's interesting because look at the first move right there. Your catcher really doesn't matter who's back there. You're not going to have a chance against a left-hander first move. And now what do you do? Do you move him over for Adam? Ottavino on deck? You get obviously Skip looking to drive him in, but that, you know, we'll see what happens if he doesn't get a hit here and gets him over to third. Then you got the potential squeeze play.
1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at second. That's Rasmus. He reached on a walk. Narveson is 1-1. Down and away, 2 balls and a strike.
It's funny because in National League games, this is where it's different than the American League game. You know, your pitchers on deck. Obviously, your hitters at the plate now with Skip. You want to have him drive him in, but he gets to third base with 1 out. Now what? You know, that's where the squeeze is always in play in the National League, and that runner rarely never gets home with the pitcher hitting unless you do squeeze. Or in the American League, you're trying to get this guy over to third base because you know you could have Billy Miller hitting 9th and won the batting title in 2003 for the Red Sox, you know?
2 balls and a strike as Schumacher takes that strike 2. 2-2. Well, you and I were talking about it before the game. When you look at a guy like Carlos Silva, who is now 7-0 with the Chicago Cubs after the previous 2 seasons, a combined 5-18 with Seattle. It's simply easier to pitch in the National League than it is the American League.
And those are facts. You're pitching to 7.5 batters, I like to say, because usually you can pitch around your 8-hole.
Schumacher flicks the bat at it.
In other words, if there was 2 outs here in this situation late in the game, you might, put Schumacher on, and then you can pitch the pitcher. So, the 8-hole hitter is only in effect certain times in a game. But in the American League, you're pitching to 9 hitters. I mean, Robinson Cano used to hit 8th for the New York Yankees. That's not fun for a pitcher. You get by that middle of the line, boom. So the National League gets 7.5 hitters, and obviously the job that Silva did.
Here's a ground ball to the right side. This will be out number 2 as fielder steps on the bag, and now Ottavino will have that RBI chance, albeit with 2 outs. He's 0 for 3 in the big leagues. So Ottavino will walk to the plate. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, 4-1. St. Louis out in front. And it's Narveson trying to keep it where it is with Edmonds, Hart, Kataris ready to bat for Milwaukee in the 5th. Ottavino struck out his first time, and he bends back from strike 1 on a breaking ball from Narveson.
How about that first pitch hammer, huh? From the pitcher.
Pitcher to pitcher. Here's a little treat.
I've always wondered, if you throw me a fastball, I throw you a fastball, are you going to throw me breaking balls? I'm going to throw you breaking balls. I wonder if that's always the pitcher friendly tool, but now with the guy on third base, obviously.
Narveson's just trying to survive.
He went back-to-back curveballs there.
Ottavino, not a bad swing at that last one. Now he's in the hole 0-2.
And this is where if a pitcher can handle the bat, can help himself.
Runner at third, 2 out, and a strikeout. Nasty pitch from Narveson, strikeout number 4, and we have played 4 in St. Louis. It's 4-1. Cardinals on top. With Edmonds, Hart, and Kataris coming up against Adam Ottavino. Edmonds could not have hit the ball harder his first time up, but lined out to right. Good catch by Ludwig. back on the track, and now he shoots one the other way, foul, strike one.
There's a few guys, Ken Griffey Jr., you looked at him when he was 19, 20, never changed his stance, swing the same bat, a C271, 34, 31 ounce his whole career. Jim Emmons is the same guy. He has been wide stanced his whole career. There's a no stride, which keeps him back. It's just kind of lift up that little heel, and he generates a ton of power.
And that stayed fair. Edmonds laid out of the box, but an easy out to start the inning here in the fifth. Fox Sports is proud to team with the Breast Cancer Research Foundation during our 2010 season. Breast Cancer Research Foundation helps fund the most advanced and promising breast cancer research. Join the fight by texting CURE to 27722 to donate $10 or visit bcrfcure.org. Messaging and data rates may apply. Here is Corey Hart. What a month of May he had. And yet he's hitting seventh. Ball one.
And if you ever stand next to Corey Hart, this is another guy that's 6'5". He's huge. He's kind of scary. He's got tattoos everywhere, and I was like, whoa. He goes, hey, Kevin, like, these are man hands shaking my hand yesterday. Took half of my arm. But, you know, here's a guy hit seventh with 14 homers.
That ball that's resting in the M of Big Mac. Oh, Ottavino got a glove on it. He's fine. But a dangerous line drive back through the middle, and Corey Hart is on with a base hit. That ball that Corey Hart hit up to the billboard in left center field. Now this one, Kevin, right back up the middle.
Fastball right down the middle and right at his right ear. Thank God he got his glove out. And just right here, this is what's scary as a pitcher. I mean, that ball's coming right at your head. There's no helmet. Thank God his reaction time was quick with that glove up there. It saved his start.
And who knows what else.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, you know, and I've always said that it doesn't happen that often. I mean, we've seen it, you know, a couple times a year.
So would A-Rod.
Yeah. I mean, how about the other day? You know, the top of the, top of the head, I think it was the ear area. But, I mean, pitchers you'd think you'd hit every day. And thank God it doesn't happen that often.
1 on, 1 out. Gutierrez gets under one and pops it up. That's David Freese backing up 2 out. It's David Huff, the pitcher who was hit in the head by Alex Rodriguez a week ago today. And thankfully for Ottavino, he got the glove up and deflected it. Our Mercedes-Benz trivia question. Adam Wainwright recorded his first career shutout last night. Who was the active shutout leader? The answer, Kevin Millar got it right. Roy Halladay with 18.
The doctor.
Now pitching for the Phillies.
And when he signed with the Phillies, you thought he was going to win 30 games. With that offense.
He may.
And, yeah, I mean, this guy is an absolute horse.
There's a strike to Narveson.
Here's Narveson right now. Our report is that he can swing the bat. Right now would be a nice time to double home Corey Hart. I thought he was taking 2 strikes his last bat on purpose when he's bunting to try to swing, but they made him bunt with 2 strikes.
0-1 is the count. Runner at first, 2 out. And a check on the runner. You were Roy Halladay's teammate in Toronto last year.
Roy Halladay, I got into spring training. Funny story. I called him Roy the first couple weeks on purpose. Hey, Roy, how you doing? Everybody calls him Doc, Doc, Doc. So for the skit, hey, Roy, how you doing, Roy? And he kind of looked at me a little silly, like, who is this guy? Heads up. So it went on for a little bit. Here I was thinking that Roy was going to be traded in July. So I'd asked him, before you get traded, I need a jersey. But my skit calling him Roy was, you are Roy Halladay. I mean, everybody calls you Doc Halladay because of me. So he went back to the books and found out I was 7 for 47 against Roy Halladay. Without him, without me going 7 for 47, he's Roy Halladay.
Just another guy.
Just another guy. But now he's Doc Halladay having to face me. I mean, he dominated me. I couldn't stand facing him. So in July, he never got traded. There's a jersey hanging in my locker, a random day. It says 1-5, which they called, from my number 15. Thanks to your 7 for 47, I would just be Roy, but I am Doc. And it's the jersey hanging right now up in my office.
Here's a shot down the left field line. It's a ground rule double as it bounces out of play, and a bad break for Milwaukee. That takes a run off the board as it hopped over the wall. And Narveson, your scouting report was dead on. He can swing it better than he can bunt.
Look at that. High fastball. Tomahawks it down the left field line for a ground roll double. He's hitting over 400 now. I knew he shouldn't have bunted his last at bat. But look at a little leg kick right there. That's athletic. Most pitchers in that box do not look athletic. Well, they're not athletes either. So let's not fool ourselves, JoJo.
Really? Well, I work with Tim McCarver, and he says all pitchers are crazy.
They dance to a different beat. They pitch once every 5 days. They play 35 times a year.
Here's Ricky Weeks. All of a sudden for Milwaukee, tying run is at the plate, and the pitch is high for ball one.
And the funny thing about pitchers, it's their day to pitch, and boy, everything's got to stop. Whoo, ha. You know, after the game, if they're starting the next day, hey, let's go get a bite to eat. No, I'm pitching. They go right to their room. They're in bed by 11:27 p.m. But by God, us position players are out there 162 games a year.
And then there's David Wells. Here's a strike over the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
1-0 you.
Second and third, 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ricky Weeks, who went deep in the first inning. The only run so far for Milwaukee.
And here's the thing: he hit a home run on a slider, so maybe Ricky might buy himself a fastball here, and he can hit a fastball to tie the game up.
Runner at third is Hart. Runner at second is Narveson, the pitcher. He's extended this inning in a 1-1. Good pitch in under the hands and a strike. Here's the home run back in the first.
A little slider he got out front, got the good part of the bat on it, and put the Brew Crew up 1-0 before an out was made. And right there, he threw a sinker in on his hands. It was a nice pitch at him by Adam.
It's Ottavino, the rookie. 24-year-old right-hander who was born in Brooklyn. Here comes his 1-2 pitch. And blocked by Molina. There's nobody better in the game at smothering a ball in the dirt than Yadier Molina.
And that's such a big part of his game, because right there you go down on your knees. Most of the time it goes off the shin, the shin guard, or it ricochets and there's a run. But right here you can see him smother that ball. His chest is over the baseball, so that ball's not going anywhere. And that's what they try to do, is keep it in that batter circle. Because if that ball shoots to the thing, you got to run with 2 outs there.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Ricky Weeks. Second and third, 2 out. And he spoils the pitch, still 2-2. Did I dream that you caught one time, or was it just you warming up a pitcher before an inning?
Probably the last year's warming up the pitchers. As you get older, you're that guy now. But I was the 3rd catcher. I always begged to be a 3rd catcher. I went to instructional league with Florida at 95 or 6 to be a catcher. John Bull said, you want to make the big leagues, you got to be a 3rd catcher. So I went there and did that. I've never sniffed an inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ricky Weeks trying to make something happen again for Milwaukee. It's a full count. On deck is Craig Counsell.
Right there, back-to-back fastballs. Now you got 3-2 base open. Rudy's on deck. So now what do you do? This is where the cat and mouse game as a hitter and a pitcher. He hit a home run off a slider his first at bat. You got second and third right now, 2 outs. You have a base open. So if you're Ricky Weeks, you this guy's throwing 95. So as a hitter, you have to stay on the fastball and hopefully react to the breaking ball.
Here's a 3-2 and a tap foul. They classify certain hitters, Kevin, as guess hitters, but I would imagine everybody is a guess hitter.
Yeah, some guys, there's very few that don't sit on something. A guy like Manny Ramirez was a guy that he would sit on a pitch. And it's a funny story. I believe it was it might have been Chris Carpenter, but great curveball, but he has 95 down in, and he sat an entire game on that curveball. And I think Carpenter, when he was in Toronto, or it might have been Holiday, just buried him two straight at bats, so singer, 1 curveball, and hit it in the triple deck in Toronto. But most hitters have an idea. But these kind of situations right here, this is, what do you do as a hitter? You have a base open. When that base open, it gets a little tricky.
Here's another 3-2 pitch from Ottavino, and the fastball is high to load him up. So Ottavino walked 6 in his first start. That's his first walk today, and it loads him up for Craig Counsell. Our Verizon game summary is Ottavino works here in the 5th inning. Ricky Weeks, 3rd leadoff home run this season. Pujols hit his first home run here at Busch Stadium since the 12th of April when he went deep in the bottom half of the first. Narveson struggled in that opening inning. He's settled down since, and Ottavino has allowed that solo home run. Not much since, but here's a chance for Milwaukee. It's up to Craig Counsell. And a strike. The upper part of the strike zone, it's 0-1.
And these are situations as a hitter, you have to remember the pressure is on the pitcher. Right there, Counsell was taking a pitch. You know, he just walked Ricky Weeks. But a quick 0-0 on a bat, you pop it up, that bat's over. You got 3 strikes. And right there, he's going to see one. And these are what I was telling about Rudy.
There's strike 2.
Is that he is a baseball player. You know these situations. As hard as it is as a hitter, the good ones find a way to bring their heart rate down. When you watch Derek Jeter in RBI situations in these big games, it seems like he's blowing bubbles and chewing gum, or Tom Brady, and these great ones all have a way to bring their heart rate down. But right now, bases loaded, you know, 2 outs, you want to do so much. And I think these are where veteran players like Craig Counsell, it's a big at bat.
Bases loaded, 2 out, and that one gets away from Ottavino, ball 1.
See, even hitting 0-2 in this situation, we forget sometimes you get 3 strikes. He still has to execute another strike. And, you know, you get in the hole. You don't want to make a living 0-2. But right now, you still have bases loaded.
Counsell's been doing it for a long time. Got the start today in place of Alcides Escobar. Here's the 1-2. And he chased it, struck him out. Ottavino picks a good time for his second strikeout of the day. Halfway through it, 4-1 St. Louis as the Brewers leave the bases loaded. Our award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. Get every MLB game in the most HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Counsell struck out with the bases loaded to end the threat for Milwaukee in the top of the 5th. And for St. Louis, top of the order, that means Felipe Lopez, Ryan Ludwig, and Albert Pujols. Lopez has really filled in and done a nice job and basically taken over the top spot in this Cardinal lineup.
You know, he can hit. He had a great year last year and was on the market for a long time. Switch hitter, plays second, third, short, wherever you want, but gives you a nice at bat. I mean, he's been a talented player for many years. Good change up there.
Count 0-2. Former All-Star and an All-Star at the shortstop position. He was cut loose by Washington, signed by the Cardinals a few years ago, did well. Last year spent some time with Milwaukee and Arizona, and here he is back with the Cardinals, signed late in February, a one-year deal for $1 million. And he's the guy that's now Tony La Russa's leadoff hitter. There's Randy Wynn. He was just added to the Cardinals roster. John Jay, an outfielder, was sent out, and Randy Wynn, who started the season with the New York Yankees, longtime big leaguer, is now on the Cardinal roster. 1-2 pitch, and Lopez checked his swing. 2-2.
One of the nicest guys in baseball, Randy Wynn. Looks the exact same. We played together in 1994 for the Kane County Cougars with the Florida Marlins organization, and you know what? He hadn't changed a bit. Could still fly. Great addition. Play all three outfield positions.
That's over below. 3-2.
Tell you what, he's getting a steady diet of breaking balls. I think they've thrown 3 changeups and the curveball, 4 straight breaking balls.
3-2 pitch is hit down the right field line, foul, out of play.
That's as a hitter, you know, rarely does a pitcher throw 3 of the same pitches in a row. Usually you'll see a fastball, ball, fastball, strike, breaking ball, or changeup, fastball. And right there, you know, he threw 4 straight breaking balls and then came back with fastball, 3-2, back-to-back walk.
And so the walk puts Lopez on. Time now for a DirecTV game break. We go to Toronto, top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Blue Jays. Derek Jeter hits a 2-run shot. Gives Jeter 1,101 RBIs, which is 9th most in Yankees history, passing Don Mattingly. But there's the game winner after the Yankees had taken the lead. Bottom of the 14th inning, 2-2 game, 1 on, 1 out. Aaron Hill singles to center off Chad Godin, and Encarnacion scores, and it's a 3-2 Toronto Blue Jay win in 14 innings. Ball 1 to Ryan Ludwig.
About the Blue Jays, Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, deserves a lot of credit. You know, I mean, they've done such a great job this year.
Boy, I mean, you think about it. Here's a ball that's nicely played by Contreras at the plate as he keeps it right there in the count. 2-0. They trade Holiday, and you think, well, they're just going to rebuild. It's part of their process. They have some good young talent. It is early, but they are right in the thick of it in the AL East. They're now
4.5 out. They're tied with Boston.
The Yankees started the day 2 out. Tampa Bay was losing at last check, so that division is getting tighter as we go.
Yeah, I mean, you lose Roy Halladay and you think, oh God, they're in the East, and you know, Bruce Walton, who was the bullpen pitcher, pitching coach, the bullpen really stepped in there. You know, Brad Arnsberg goes to Houston with Brad Mills, and you know, he's done a great job of giving these young kids, Brett Cecil, Ricky Romero, all these guys that, you know, you think, how are they going to compete, and they've done a great job.
A leadoff walk. The count's 2-1 on Ludwig with Pujols on deck. They start to stir in the Milwaukee bullpen as that drops low. 3-1.
Yeah, you want to try to find a way to execute here and get Ryan out, because you start getting first and second, first and third, nobody out, and here comes Pujols and Holiday. You're not going to make a living that way.
Surprised that in this situation there is no action at this point in the Brewers bullpen. As Ludwig hits it in the air to center, down toward the end of the bat. Edmonds in and to his left. 1 on, 1 out. So that's a big out as Narveson fell behind and got Ludwig, and now it's Pujols. In the first inning. First home run here at home since the 12th of April. An 0-2 pitch into the seats in left center. Start of the day tied for 3rd in the National League with his 12 home runs. Now he has 13. Tied for 3rd with 41 RBIs. Now he's got 43, and he is 2nd in the league in hitting at 318. So he is in the top 3 in the Triple Crown categories at the moment. Ball 1 down and in.
You know, all the league leaders this year seem to be like, would you ever think Jose Bautista would be leading the major leagues in home runs? He has 18, but right there you have Corey Hart at the top of the National League.
Here's a foul down the right field line, and it will be caught by Corey Hart. What a catch. Looked like he gave up on it for a moment, and then he ended up getting there, reaching for it, and making the out. 2 down.
That's a tough play. You're running. You feel the warning track right there. You just don't know how far the fence is, and you can see him prematurely kind of reach out. He had another step, but that's tough because next you're watching the ball, you're battling the sun, and he does a great job right there. Kind of boom. Thought he was going to hit the wall a little sooner than he did, but that's a tough play right there by Corey.
And so that eliminates Pujols and brings in Holiday with 1 on, 2 out. And a check on Lopez as that one almost got away. Matt Holiday has walked, stolen a base, scored a run, and bounced into a double play.
By the way, I'm going to bring it up again. Another big man in person.
With Matt.
Matt Holiday.
Absolutely.
You just don't realize how big these guys are when you see them on TV until you walk up to them.
I didn't realize how big you were. You're really not that big. Here's a pop-up.
Perfect example.
I was kind of disappointed. All those years with the Red Sox. World champion, cowboy up, all that stuff. Really not that imposing. Braun and Fielder coming up for the Brewers. Down by 3. You can enjoy the sun by Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage, and by Chevrolet and our award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. Brewers have to get something going here against Adam Ottavino as we're into the 6th inning, and for Milwaukee, it's their big bats, Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, and Casey McGee. Ryan Braun has had such a good start to his big league career. He took a strike. And now he comes up empty at a good pitch down and away. Braun came up in 2007, was the Rookie of the Year, hit 34 home runs in 113 games played. In 08, hit 37. Last year, only National Leaguer with 200 hits, hit 32 and hit 320. Was his average for the season. That pitch misses up and away. Ball 1.
He tried to go that backdoor sinker again right there. And you know, Braun's takes the first pitch strike, and obviously the second pitch slider fools him. You can almost see like where he was gambling in on that swing.
1-2 pitch. Up the middle. That's a good start to the inning for Milwaukee. The leadoff man is on for the third time in this game for the Brewers. And it will bring in Prince Fielder, who is 0 for 2. But since you're on this kick, Kevin Millar, for who's big and who's not big and who's strong and who can mash a baseball, this guy might lead the list.
He leads the list. I mean, now he's not tall, but he is strong. And I'm telling you right now, there isn't a guy that hits the ball further in batting practice than Prince Fielder. I was sitting out here yesterday, and Dale Swain was throwing BP, and he was absolutely crushing balls 500 feet to center field.
And this is the end of the day for Ottavino. Cardinals make a pitching change, and the rookie gets a nice hand. The Cardinals, and the left-hander is dealing with Prince Fielder, and a check on the runner at first. Tony La Russa, you know what he's doing with the rookie on the mound, Adam Ottavino, who's had two, I would say, good starts at the big league level now. Today better than last Saturday. He's trying to protect the rookie, third time through the lineup in a relatively tight game, 4-1 against a guy like Fielder. There's a base hit into right field off the bat of Prince Fielder. And Dennis Reyes is greeted with a sharp single to right. It's 2 on with nobody out, and Casey McGee coming to the plate.
Right there, Dennis wanted to get that pitch a little more outside and cut more of the plate, and Prince just hit it where you're supposed to, right in that fat part of the bat for a base hit to right field.
And so now it's Casey McGee. You've got the left-handed hitting Jim Edmonds on deck. And Tony La Russa has Kyle McClellan getting loose in his bullpen, but he's going to stick with the lefty. And here's a chance for McGee and Milwaukee to get something done down by 3 in the 6th.
Here's a guy, Casey McGee, who's second in the league in RBIs.
0 for 2 in this game, and he fights it off into right field. That ball's going to get down for extra bases. In to score is Ryan Braun. Going first to third is Fielder on an RBI double. And it's a 4-2 game here in the 6th inning.
Well, there you have it right there. Casey fighting the ball off. Ball was inside, kind of jammed himself, and there's Knox to right field. hit one just fair inside the right field line for an RBI double. So now you got some action here, second and third.
You've got lefty on lefty with Jim Edmonds, who is now 0 for 14 in his return to Busch Stadium as a visiting player. Did it with the Cubs 2 years ago. Now he's with Milwaukee. 0 for 2 in this game, and he takes ball one.
You know, now maybe you jinx the Cardinals. Because, you know, after you go, not only is he going to go 0 for a lifetime here as a visitor.
You saw him kind of grab at that side. He had an oblique strain. Edmonds was on the disabled list, and kind of a weak swing there as he was fooled on the pitch. Gets out of the batter's box with a 1-1 count.
Jimmy is one of those special hitters, and we were talking earlier before he grounded at first, but he has as much power to left field as most right-handers do. I mean, he can ball left field as far as anybody with a no-stride approach.
Here's the 1-1. Down and away, 2 balls and a strike. On deck is Corey Hart, who has 11 home runs since the middle of May, 23 RBIs, the top 2 totals in Major League Baseball. Tony La Russa went to the bullpen. Reyes has been greeted with a single, a double, and now he's behind on the count to the lefty. Edmonds 3-1. This will be it for Dennis Reyes, with McClellan in the bullpen and the right-handed hitting Corey Hart on deck.
This is another one of those situations. You got nobody out, second, third. Ground ball to the right side will score a run. They're playing infield back, and you'll get the runner over to third base with less than 2 outs. So you have a chance really to pick up those 2 runs.
There's ball 4, and that'll load him up. That should be it for Reyes. Crowd groaning here in St. Louis as Reyes is allowed a single, a double, now a walk. And Corey Hart makes his way to the plate. Tony La Russa will make his way to the mound, and that'll be it for Reyes. Did not retire a man. Bases loaded, nobody out. St. Louis up 2 in the 6th. So the home run by Ricky Weeks. The other RBI belongs to McGee, who just chipped in with an RBI double. His first hit of the day, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Kyle McClellan to deal with Corey Hart, who is a big threat in the number 7 spot in the lineup. 1 for 2 in this game. And he grounds one to short. Lopez flips out over to first, no throw, and it's a one-run game. In to score is Prince Fielder, and it's first and third, one out.
It's a good job right here by Jim Edmonds to get in that second baseman's face so he can't turn it. And that keeps it with one out now, first and third, and you know, Skip, it was kind of a low throw right there, but Jim Edmonds, he was feeling Jim Edmonds come under him, so that's a nice play by Jimmy.
So it's a force out off the bat of Corey Hart. It's an RBI for Hart, his 36th of the season. It's a 4-3 game, first and third, nobody out. And McClellan deals to Kataris, and there's strike one. Kyle McClellan is from the St. Louis area. Got a save earlier this week. Now pitching in the sixth. A check on Hart. Corey has stolen 3. It's Kataris now. It's the pitcher's spot next. Tying run 90 feet away, and there's ball one up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. McGee at third, Corey Hart at first. Inning started with a leadoff base hit by Ryan Braun. That was the end of Ottavino. Reyes struggled. And now it's up to Kyle McClellan for St. Louis, and at the moment Kataris for Milwaukee. Here's the 1-1, and it's hit high in the air to right. Tagging is the runner at third. Ludwig comes up ready to throw, and here comes the play at the plate. McGee is safe, and we're tied.
Nice job by George right there, getting a pitch up in the zone to hit a ball in the air right there and to get that run home.
And so that wipes away a potential first big league victory for Ottavino. It's a 4-4 game. Runner at first, 2 out now on the sac fly by Kataris.
See how that ball is above the waist? That, as a hitter, you're trying to hit the ball in the air and get a pitch up so you can hit the ball in the outfield. And right there, he did a great job. Obviously, Kyle put a ball right there, and we got a tie ball game here in the 6th inning.
And Narveson gets a chance to hit. He's settled down, and he's rewarded with an at-bat here in the 6th inning, and he'll head back out there for St. Louis in the bottom of the inning. It'll be Freese, Molina, and Colby Rasmus.
And don't sleep over there on Corey Hart. He went back-to-back 20 steals with 20 home runs in 07 and 08, so he can run.
He's the go-ahead run at first. The count evens, ball and a strike.
But this is where you get in that, do you want the pitcher leading off next inning? But this might not be the regular pitcher. Look at that average, hitting .429.
Has a double in this game. He's also dropped down a bunt.
And they'll probably leave that hole open for him.
McClellan does check on Corey Hart. Milwaukee's won 13 of the last 17 here. And they've come back from a 4-1 deficit to tie it 4-4 here in the 6th. Here's a 1-1. And this is ball 2.
It's a pretty good pitch right there. I think everybody was fooled.
Home plate umpire might be on that list as well. Todd Tishner.
Including Chris. Narveson thought that was a strike.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Runner at first, 2 out. And it's down and away, 3-1. On deck is Ricky Weeks.
He's taking those pitches like a pro. Working into a hitter's count. 3-1, 2 outs.
Brad Fisher, third base coach, goes through the signs. 7th man to bat in the inning. Reyes did not retire a man. Faced 3. That's ball 4. That puts Narveson on. 2nd walk handed out to Milwaukee in the inning, and now Ricky Weeks will have a chance. Visit your local Lowe's to cast your Scott's MLB All-Star ballot and enter for a chance to win a VIP All-Star Week experience. Compliments of Scott's. Be in Anaheim on July 13th. for the Midsummer Classic.
Do you think there's anything that drives you more crazy as a manager than walking the opposing pitcher?
In that spot, in what's been a rough inning, Tony La Russa just watched McClellan do that with Narveson and now has to deal with Weeks. I would say no is the answer to your question. Here it comes, and a strike to the outside part. There are the specifics from Angel Stadium, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, here on Fox, July 13th. The All-Star game. Weeks is homered, fouled out, and walked. Here's the 0-1. Ball and a strike. A quick hook for Ottavino. And the bullpen has let down the Cardinal rookie right-hander. This Cardinal bullpen has the 3rd best ERA in baseball at 2.93.
I think the Cardinals bullpen leads the league in man facial hair.
It's an unofficial stat, but you may be onto something. Here's a 1-1. Fought off and fouled off, strike 2.
Look at it. There's old Franklin. This guy's got some man hair.
Trevor Miller. Doesn't even include Mott.
Kyle's getting to where Franklin's going. It's almost a little longer.
There are the numbers for the pitching, led by Dave Duncan, the Cardinal pitching coach. 2 on, 2 out, and a swing and a miss struck him out. Called by the home plate umpire. No appeal was necessary, says Todd Tishner, but the Brewers tie it with 3 in the 6th, 4-4 into the bottom half. Home run in the first inning by Albert Pujols. A 2-run double was hit in that first by Colby Rasmus. And really after that, Kevin Millar, Chris Narveson has done a nice job of settling down and persevering.
He's done a great job. And, he started commanding his pitches, execute his pitches. When he called for the fastball away, he started hitting it away. When they were trying to come in, he was going in. I think early in the game, obviously, he missed a couple spots, and the Cardinals made him pay for it.
It's a 4-4 game. David Freese, the rookie third baseman, the count even at a ball and a strike. Freese is fourth best in the National League, hitting .316. The 1-1. Skips in, 2 balls and a strike.
Seems to be a nice Big Mac product. McGuire, you know, every time Freese hit a home run, he come in and Mac seems to punch him in the chest or something. I'm glad Mac would put a hole in me.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch. That's inside, 3 balls and a strike. We talked about it last week. I talked about it with Tim, that Mark McGuire believes that David Freese is a throwback. He's a tough kid, doesn't let a lot bother him, and he's on to start the inning. That's the way the 6th inning begins with a base hit to right. Some good numbers for David Freese. He was up and started the season on the big league roster last year. See where he ranks among rookies. He's looking up at one guy, Hayward. Jason Hayward of the Atlanta Braves, but his on-base percentage, the run production, the runs, and his average at the start of the day, .316, is the 3rd highest by a Cardinal rookie since 1952. Pujols hit .329 as a rookie in '01. Pendleton, Terry Pendleton, hit .324 for the 1984 Cardinals. Here is Yadier Molina to check on David Freese.
This is one of those gray areas now for Chris Harvison, because he's only pitched in the 6th inning twice this year. You know, gone 6. So here we are in the 6th inning, and we'll see what happens. You know, Freese leads off with the base hits, 3-1 count.
Molina takes a ball. You're right. I mean, the 6th inning was the end of the road for Narveson in his last start. They rolled into it at Florida, and they got roughed up on Monday. First 5 innings, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, a 4-0 lead. The game ended a 13-5 loss, and it was the 6th inning. Could not get through. Here's a 1-0. Popped up. Right center field. To his left is Edmonds, and he has it for out number 1. 1 on, 1 out, and the batter will be Rasmus. If you look at this Brewers rotation, you've got Giovanni Gallardo, who joined us from the dugout earlier in the game, 6-2 with an ERA of 2.64. The rest of the starting rotation for the Brewers, 9-19 with an ERA of over 5.5. That's the reason why, Kevin, they're 10 games out.
I mean, and they went through a tough group of losses, obviously, with Trevor Hoffman. I mean, as a team, and Trevor's one of the hardest working guys, one of the classiest guys in this level, but they, you know, they went through, it seemed like 3 or 4 saves in about a 5 to 10 game span where, you know, he blew them, and I don't know if they've ever rebounded from that.
Rasmus took a strike. Narveson slipped a fastball in there, and now the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Trevor Hoffman, the all-time saves leader, has been replaced, at least in the short term, by John Axford. A 42nd round pick. 27-year-old closer now for the Brewers. Here's a 1-1. Skips in 2-1.
Look at Colby take that breaking ball like a pro right there. Off the lefty. You can tell right there, look at, he's feeling a little bit better. Facing lefties, back-to-back nights with Wolf and Narveson today, and that was a 1-1 curveball, and you know, he just kind of got the leg up, leg down, read it, and now he drew a hitter's count here, 2-1.
1 on, 1 out, 2-1 pitch. Is a base hit into right field. Another hit for Rasmus, on base for the 3rd time today, and it's 2 on with 1 out. And another lefty, Schumacher, coming up.
I mean, he looks locked in. He was right on this pitch right here. It was almost like Chris took a little bit off his fastball. I'm not sure if that was a changeup, but look at that weight transfer, staying back right behind the baseball with a base hit. That's a nice swing by Colby.
Some new contacts. His dad's in town helping him with his swing. Confident, and he's on base for the 3rd time today. And here comes Rick Peterson, jogging out to the mound with action in the bullpen for Milwaukee.
And it also helps, he's seen a left-hander last night. Sees a left-hander today. Probably he'll see a left-hander tomorrow. He plays, but, you know, that's how you start seeing some bats and some release points from that side.
Cameron Lowe, the right-hander who's been busy this week, is getting loose for Milwaukee as Schumacher steps in.
Here's that shutdown inning that Chris needs to put up a 0 for his club. They just went out in the 6th inning, scored 3 to tie this game up, and right now he's got to find a way to get a ground ball and roll this over.
Schumacher 0 for 2. Ball 1. Pitcher is on deck. The Cardinals sure would dip into their bench and call on a pinch hitter. You see the difference from the first inning on. He has really put it together. 2 hits, however, in this inning, and a 1-0 pitch to Schumacher. A fly ball into right, easy for Corey Hart, and it's 2 on, 2 out. And here comes the Cardinal debut for Randy Wynn.
We're in number 44. That's like a big home run hitter number. Huh? And Randy's going to go up there and try to maybe show bunt, slap the ball around, even though he's got some homers in the big leagues. I think he's got over 100.
But not known as a home run guy. He's got 107. Now he's signed with the Yankees. And the story on Randy Wynn is no active player in the big leagues has played more regular season games than Randy Wynn without getting to the postseason. So you sign with the Yankees, you're a bench player, and you think, well, I'm finally going to break through and get to October baseball. And then because of injuries, notably to Curtis Granderson, he found himself playing a lot, and he went through a rough stretch. They cut him loose.
So they cut him loose, and now here he is in a first-place club in the National League, back to where I think he's a better player. He plays all 3 outfield positions. You know, he hits both sides of the plate. You know, and he's a guy that, once again, he's kind of that baseball player. He's got a little pop. He has over 100, got 107 homers, and you know, this is a nice spot for him.
2 on, 2 out. I'm sure his heart's racing as he takes a strike over the inside corner.
I don't care how many years you've played in the big leagues. I don't care how many at-bats. Your heart races in these situations. And if it doesn't, then you might need to put a headset on.
2 on, 2 out. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled back. Narveson made a good pitch. Had Wynn reaching for it. It's 0-2.
We went that first pitch fastball in. Boom, made 0-1. And then right there went the changeup. And made a nice pitch. Rain fouled off, and now you got an 0-2 situation right here.
Trying to put the Cardinals back on top is Randy Wynn. First day in uniform in St. Louis. The 0-2 is fought off.
You see right there how he won that ball in, and he hit his spot in. That tied the hitter up, especially after an 0-1 changeup. And that's sometimes as hitters, we're sitting away, and right there, that ball was perfectly located a little bit up and in and tied him up, because you have to respect Chris's changeup. That'll probably go away. Oh, we're going back in there.
And it's in the dirt.
But soft.
Wynn is 35 years old. Purchased by the Cardinals today. And as Kevin Millar said, he can play all 3 outfield spots and he can run.
At what point do the fast guys stop running? What age is that? Is that 55?
It never seemed to happen to Ricky Henderson.
Because Ricky Henderson's still fast. They all look like they're fast forever.
The 1-2. Ground ball left side in the hole. The shortstop. That's a good play by Counsell to get the force out at second. Cardinals lead 2, have stranded 5. We've played 6. Brewers, Cardinals, tied at 4. Go to second base, looked behind him, took his eye off the bag, and rolled his right ankle. And he was limping coming off the field. The birthday boy, Barry Weinberg, takes him to the dugout, and he's out of the game. Aaron Miles, who was just added to this Cardinal roster during the week, is now in at third base. Also into the game is Trevor Miller, and his first pitch is fouled back for strike one.
As soon as you take your eye off the bag, that happens about 10 times a year. And it stays with you through the night, and hopefully it's not too bad, and he'll tape it up and be back in there tomorrow.
It's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Milwaukee. They tied it with 3 in the 6th, the 4-4 game. And the pitch down and away, a ball and a strike. Counsell, then Braun, then Fielder. No action for the Cardinals in their bullpen, and no action for the Brewers in theirs. 1-1. 2 balls and a strike.
You get in that part of the game where everything's a matchup now. You know, you're counting your lefties, you're counting your righties. Trevor's obviously in here to get Counsell and Fielder. Braun's hopefully to sneak in there and they don't pay attention to him and put the Brewers up.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Good delivery, has Counsell fooled. It's 2-2.
That pitch right there was nasty. Dropping down a little 3/4 and put that breaking ball. It looks like a little frisbee up there when you're hitting.
Now the 2-2 pitch to Counsell. Just sticks the bat out and floats it to short for Felipe Lopez. 1 out. Time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge spotlight. Albert Pujols went deep in the first inning. For Albert, it's home run number 13 and his first year at home since the 12th of April. Just as Albert gives the Cardinals the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. 1 out, nobody on. Here's Ryan Braun. He got the 3-run rally started last inning with a base hit up the middle. And he takes a strike.
You know, and here's a guy, he stays inside the ball so nice. He reminds me a lot of Manny Ramirez. I mean, watching him, and what I mean by that, it's just everything, their power is the alleys. You know, a guy like Gary Sheffield, a top-hand guy, pull guy, you know, his power is left field. These guys, you know, Ryan Braun can really drive the ball out of those gaps, plays in a good hitter's park in Milwaukee. But, you know, and he was a guy that we're not talking about. He's not a real big guy. He's a normal-sized guy with that kind of power, which is bat speed that you can't teach.
Trying to get on for the second consecutive time. He's hit 8 home runs. Top 10 average in the National League. He started the day 6th at .313, and he takes ball 2.
It's an interesting pitch. You get 2-1 count right here. I mean, you got Prince on deck. Brian doesn't, you know, he knows they're not going to try and pound him in.
It's away for ball 3.
So you got to be careful with him also.
Good spot to be in, hitting in front of Prince Fielder. Fourth at bat of the day for Ryan Braun, ahead on the count 3-1 and a full count. Trevor Miller's been around for a long time. And is a guy that has really blossomed into more than just a left-handed specialist against left-handed batters. Tony La Russa has entrusted him with leads, in this case a tie game, trying to get big outs against right-handed power hitters. His 3-2 pitch is down and in, a 1-out walk. Go-ahead run is on for Milwaukee. Today's MLB on Fox. Tune in to win the bonus question. Who's that tweeter? Junior, congratulations on an outstanding career. We have a locker waiting for you in Cooperstown. Was it Ozzie Smith, Sparky Anderson, Tommy Lasorda, or Tony Gwynn? To answer, visit foxsports.com/tune-in to make your prediction before the final out of the 7th. Not in the game. Sign up today for next week's MLB on Fox at foxsports.com/tune-in. Prince Fielder at the plate. Ken Griffey Jr. hung it up, walked away during this week. Fielder takes ball one.
And I think it was time. I think it was time because he's had such a great career. And, you know, I mean, obviously it was 630 home runs, you know, 5th all-time, 13-time All-Star, and all the awards. He was getting to the point where the game's catching up to him. And that's just the facts. I mean, I think that's the toughest thing as we get older as players.
1 ball, 1 strike on Fielder.
That when do we get out? We feel great. You know, it's all we've done as a heart. You know, our hearts are in it, but your body and your fast twitch muscles deteriorate. And there's not a player that's played this game that it hasn't happened to. And I think Ken Griffey Jr. It's just he's obviously not the same guy.
Here comes a 1-1 pitch, 1 on, 1 out. Instead of check on the runner Braun, who, by the way, has stolen 11 bases and has not been caught.
I'll tell you, that's huge too. I mean, you know, base stealers, you know, you steal some, you get thrown out, but when you steal 30, get thrown out twice. Those kind of guys. I mean, Edgar Renteria was always one of the better base runners I've ever been around.
Another check as the Cardinals were obviously bothered by Braun over at first.
They know what you just said.
11 for 11. That doesn't lie. The Cardinals, on the other hand, since Molina has taken over as the everyday catcher, have allowed the fewest stolen bases by a mile in baseball because of the arm and the ability of Yadier Molina. Another throw over. That's 3 in a row.
I mean, how about that? All 3 brothers can throw and are great defensive catchers. And obviously Yadier being probably the best. But he has an absolute rocket ship arm.
Here comes a 1-1. It's on the outside corner. Fielder didn't agree. It's 1-2.
Ball might have been a little bit off there. And it was, but that was a great job of Molina getting the strike.
Counsell popped up. Soft liner to short. Braun with a walk, and now Fielder tried to check his swing. He did, and the count 2-2.
And that was a ball. You know, that's a good job of the umpire not falling for the crowd noise. A lot of body, but not enough bat. And sometimes umpires will call the body, but the bat didn't cross. That was a nice job by Prince keeping that barrel behind the home plate.
It's a lot of body no matter what he's doing.
That's right.
1 on, 1 out, 2-2 pitch, and a strikeout for out number 2.
Trevor doing a good job. There's a breaking ball, ball 1. Breaking ball. They were breaking ball. Fastball there, made it. Then they were just going to stay away with all soft stuff. That's their game plan right there. They did not want Prince to hurt him in.
Prince Fielder is going to cash in at some point here. His deal is up. Become a free agent at the end of next season. And he is young. Here's Miller now dealing with Casey McGee, and that's foul down the third baseline. Prince Fielder just turned 26. And he will be a free agent at the end of next season. He's had years in the big leagues where he's hit as many as 50 home runs. He hit 50 back in 2007, hit 46, and drove home 141 last year.
I mean, he's right there with Ryan Howard and Albert Pujols. Obviously, people get scared looking at because he's a, you know, he's a guy who's 5'11", 6 foot. You know, what's he going to be like in 10 years? This guy has matched at this level. He's got a healthy body, which I think is important also. He's on the field every day. And so you just look at Ryan Howard's contract. He got 4 years for $100 million. Bobby Cox and Albert Pujols is worth $50 million a year.
And he didn't laugh.
No, that's the truth. And now you look at a guy like Prince Fielder, who's, you know, hit 50 homers and sat in the middle of a lineup. And I mean, he's got to get paid.
And is a good guy, too.
Really good guy.
1 on, 2 out, no balls, 1 strike on Casey McGee. That's off the end of the bat. Totally fooled, and that's strike 2.
These lefties will drive you crazy, too. Soft throwing, Trevor Miller, left-handed. They kind of nibble, then they'll throw a fastball once in a while, and 85 looks 95 inside, but they just stay on the outside part of the plate. You just really got to try to get them up and on that plate.
Nothing into the count. St. Louis will have the top of their lineup to the plate in the bottom of this 7th inning. Here comes an 0-2 pitch. And a broken bat, fly ball to center, right at Colby Rasmus. That's the end of the inning as Trevor Miller gets around a 1-out walk. Time to stretch. Here in St. Louis, Albert Pujols is coming up third for the Cardinals. Good game. Brewers, Cardinals tied at 4. Let's build something together. Perfect time to talk about Lowe's because a guy named Lowe is pitching. Cameron Lowe, L-O-E, for the Milwaukee Brewers in a 4-4 game, bottom of the 7th inning. Beautiful day. And there's big number 50, was starting at AAA in Nashville. He had an out clause in his deal. If he wasn't called up, then he got called up. He's been busy. Worked over 3 innings, all shutout balls so far. He's being called up by Milwaukee. Top of the order for St. Louis. That means Lopez, Ludwig, and Pujols.
That little man was waiting for Pujols to come up this inning.
Felipe Lopez takes a strike on a breaking ball. Cameron Lowe made 10 starts at AAA, 4-3. Good ERA. Was in Japan last year. Worked 2 1/3 scoreless innings on Thursday. Big right-hander brings it. A lot of arms and legs flying at this hitter, Felipe Lopez, and it misses down and away, 1-1.
Another guy with a good sinker. Got to keep the ball down. Ground ball pitcher. Pitched a little bit with the Texas Rangers.
And misses down and in. 2-1.
Used to this heat and humidity. Texas right now it's about 140.
That's where Chris Rose is in one of our crews on Fox Saturday Baseball. 2-1 pitch, not close, 3-1. That game's in the 7th inning, 6-1. The Rangers leading the Tampa Bay Rays.
Rays used to being indoors.
Here's the 3-1. Right down the middle, full count.
It is hot in Texas this time of the year. Next couple months, they got the advantage. In Florida, you know, teams would come in there and how do you play in this humidity? And you get used to it as a home player.
3-2 pitch is fouled. Felipe Lopez had a great quote during the week. He was hit on his right thumb on Tuesday. Spent some time on the DL with a strain in his elbow. And he said, I worry about my car not starting, but I'm never worried about how I feel at the plate because I know what I can do.
That is called swagger, and you need it to hit this level.
Another 3-2 pitch and another foul backing out of play.
If you don't believe in yourself or believe you're the best that's ever been in that box when you're in that box, you don't have success. And that's the truth. And it starts on the on-deck circle, having a plan, knowing what this guy has. You know, everybody's got scout reports. You ask your hitting coach. You probably went over to Big Mac. What's this guy have if he hasn't seen him? And you get in that box, and you think you're the best.
Good breaking ball from Lowe. Strikes him out looking. A nasty pitch on 3-2. Our DirecTV game break, top of the 6th inning. A 1-1 game, 1-on, 1-out. Mike Napoli of the Angels, a blooper to right. Just out of the reach of Sean Figgins. Torrey Hunter comes across to score. 2-1. The Angels lead now 7-1 as they lead it in the 7th. The only way to watch every MLB game in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV.
We ate at a nice cafe last night, Cafe Napoli.
That's right. 1 out, nobody on, and a breaking ball is in for a strike.
We ought to be eating free tonight.
Yeah.
By the way, how did that sound when I was spitting it out? I mumbled about 9 times.
Okay. You got it out, though, and you probably get your free dinner. Tony will be happy to give you one.
I got one last night.
Here's the 0-1. 2 times, 2 nights free is, I think, asking too much.
Oh, Jeff took care of the bill last night.
0-2 the count. 1 out, nobody on as Cameron Lowe tries to turn in a scoreless 7th. It's Ludwig now. It's Pujols on deck. The 0-2. Good pitch. That breaking ball is filthy from Cameron Lowe. 2 out.
Right here, that's a nasty breaking ball in a perfect location, especially an 0-2 pitch.
Official word from the Cardinal dugout is that David Freese left with a right ankle strain or sprain. His status is day to day. Saw him turn it on the bag. There's a fastball that misses, ball 1 to Pujols.
And that didn't miss by much, I'll tell you that. But you better be nasty right now. You got 2 outs in the 7th, and this guy can hurt you in a tie game.
There's a 1-0. Breaking ball stays inside. If you look at what is literally a decade of dominance for Albert Pujols, where he ranks in the Triple Crown categories, that bottom line, he's second in each of the Triple Crown categories. Average home runs, RBIs from 2000 through 2009, and Bonds is still leading the home run list. And there's a swinging strike, 2-1.
That's pretty amazing if you ask me. Bonds is still there.
He is still on top. 2 strikeouts to start the inning. Felipe Lopez and Ryan Ludwig. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Ripped down the third base and now left field line foul, and a nice catch by a fan. How about the catch by that guy?
Look at this swing right here. He just got out front, but that, look at that catch by the fan, huh?
Saved his kid down there.
I used to go to Dodger games, bring my glove, and I never got close to a baseball.
Here's a 2-2. Down and away, full count.
But that 2-1 pitch that fan just made, Cameron got lucky there, because that was a lot of white on the plate. Look at Mom.
Here's a 3-2. And a swing and a miss struck him out. What an inning by Cameron Lowe. He strikes out the side. Keeps it 4-4 as this game goes to the 8th. Chevrolet. So there you go. They're now in the area right underneath the arch. That wedding party has moved from Keener Plaza and the fountains to the grass between the legs of the arch.
It's moved from Niagara Falls to now the Field of Dreams.
And they're still married.
I would have slipped and fell. Been in shorts and a t-shirt.
They're still dressed to the nines. 1 ball, 1 strike on Edmonds. Trevor Miller's done a nice job. He pitched a scoreless 7th. Edmonds is hitless 0 for 2 with a walk, and he takes ball 2, 2-1. For 8 in his career against Trevor Miller is Jim Edmonds. Ottavino started. He was very good again today. Get a no decision. There's a strike. 2-2. Dennis Reyes didn't retire a batter. Allowed 2 hits and a walk. Kyle McClellan allowed a couple of inherited runners to score. Now the 2-2 from Miller. A swing and a miss. Struck him out, and that's how the 8th inning begins. Second strikeout for the Cardinal left-hander. Earlier in this game, Brendan Ryan was wise to move from a certain spot in the Cardinal dugout.
You see why I moved? You see why I moved? You see? Give me that thing. Right? It would have been right in the face.
Instead, he moved. He gets the souvenir, gave it away to somebody in the seats moments later, and now Jason Mott comes in out of the Cardinal bullpen to relieve Trevor Miller. One pitch, 1 out from Jason Mott, second out of the top of the 8th inning, and Mott takes over. And now we'll deal with Kataris. Jason Mott, who is constant motion out on the mound, slapping at his leg and grabbing his jersey and wiping his face with his jersey and adjusting his hat and all that other stuff. And he's a hard-throwing right-hander who has really settled down. Is becoming better and better and better for Tony La Russa out of the bullpen. Ball 1 to Kataris.
Power arm. But he's moving a lot out there.
Wasting a lot of energy getting the ball before he even brings it to the plate as he misses with a 92-mile-an-hour pitch. But he can reach upper 90s. When he is rolling, the count's 2-0. Gutierrez is 1 for 2 with a single. He's popped up. He's hit a sac fly, and he grounds out to first. Mott makes the play. The inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning in St. Louis. Holiday, Miles, Molina coming up for the Cardinals. Blue Lawn and Garden Crew. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. You can get every MLB game and the most HD. Just call 1-800-DirecTV. Carlos Villanueva is into the game. Third pitch of the day. Cameron Lowe was terrific. Struck out the side in the 7th. Double switch is made as Villanueva comes in. He will bat in the 7th spot. Edmonds moves from center to right. And Carlos Gomez takes over in center. He'll bat in the number 9 spot and lead off in the 9th. First up is Matt Holliday. Took a strike. Aaron Miles will be next, and then Yadier Molina. High and tight, 1-1.
This time of the game, 8th inning on, 7th inning on, you have to be careful when you're going inside in a tie ball game. It's almost like the Braves theory. They live away, live away. If you're going to beat me away.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Villanueva misses outside, and the count 2 balls and a strike.
Especially these big guys that can just hurt you inside, because as soon as you miss just a little bit, you're in their happy zone.
Holliday has hit 6 home runs. 0 for 2 in this game. A walk, a stolen base, a run scored. That is in the dirt. 3-1.
Carlos throws right-handed changeups to right-handers, and most of the time you're only going to usually throw the changeup to a left-hander, but he's got a good changeup. We'll throw it to right-handed hitters.
Villanueva brings it on 3-1. Matt Holliday hits it in the air to right. That ball well hit over the head of Edmonds. Off the wall. Holliday's going to test the arm of Edmonds. What a throw. Out number 1 here in the 8th. Wow.
Holiday just hit a rocket on 3-1 fastball right here, right down the middle, and hit a bullet off the State Farm sign. And I see Jim acting like he's going to make the play, deked him and threw an absolute bullet right on time there to Mr. Craig Counsell for the out.
What a throw by Jim Edmonds, like a catcher throwing for a guy stealing, just put it right on the bag.
That's the thing. You can have a strong arm, but the accuracy, putting it right there on the bag. Either one hopping the infielder, making it not a short hop, but right there, great play by Jim Edmonds.
Now Aaron Miles takes a ball outside. It's a base hit, a single for Holiday. He's out on the putout 9-6 with Edmonds feeding Counsell.
One of the best throwing outfielders I played was Mark Kotze. I mean, he had an accurate arm. You never short hopped an infielder. And I'm telling you, right there, Jimmy threw a ball in the air all the way to Counsell. But it is so important, if you're not going to hit your cutoff man, to give your infielders a good hop so they can make the play and make the tag. If you throw it all the way through and have a great arm, but it goes off the guy's knee, it doesn't mean anything.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Miles pops it up, shallow left, and Braun is there for out number 2. Once again, our MLB on Fox tune in to win Who's That Tweeter bonus question was Junior. Congratulations on an outstanding career. We have a locker waiting for you in Cooperstown. The answer, Tommy Lasorda, who's using Twitter these days. Who knew?
That would have been my 4th pick.
That would have been my 4th pick. I was going to eliminate him immediately. But he is the correct answer. And now with 2 out, nobody on, here is Yadier Molina. And there's ball 1 from Villanueva. Mott will pitch in the top of the 9th. And he will deal with Carlos Gomez, then Ricky Weeks, then Craig Counsell.
I got to get more in tune. I don't know how to tweet, MySpace, fake face, whatever.
Here's a ground ball to short. I'm with you. And the shortstop, Counsell, makes the play. We'll take a break. Come back. 9th inning rolls in. Tied 4-4. Inning, and a tremendous play made by Jim Edmonds in right field. He had just moved to right. Played right field earlier this year. Before this year, he hadn't played there since 1994. And he played that ball off the wall on the shot by Holiday. And now here's Carlos Gomez, an easy fly ball to right for Ludwig, 1 out. And he threw a strike into second base, and this is the Coppertone Sport shining play of the game. And it's the Jim Edmonds throw from right instead of a runner at second, nobody out. And a tie game in the 8th. 1 out, nobody on, and Villanueva did the rest last half inning.
And look at that right there. That's 80 years of age. Who says the old guys can't play? Huh? Edmonds did counsel.
They can both still get it done, and both are valuable parts of this Milwaukee team. And with 1 out here in the 9th, here's Ricky Weeks, ball 1 from Mott.
And I might have put a year on both of them, but it just sounds better for the story.
80 sounds so much better than 78.
I'd have to start adding. And we just talked about tweeting and Facebook and MySpace. I don't do any of that stuff.
Now you're a broadcaster. Just change the numbers to make it fit your story. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ricky Weeks, who has homered today.
I like it when it was runners and scrimmages. You guys raise it up to about 50 points. All right, Camillari in about 440 with 2 outs of runners in scoring position.
No.
Might have been 220.
No, we're bitter announcers. We do it the other way. Millar can't buy ahead with runners in scoring position. 1-1 pitch is inside from Mott, 96. Ball 2. So you've got the top of the order here for Milwaukee and for St. Louis. In the bottom of the inning, it'll be the bottom portion of the lineup, 7, 8, 9. Fly ball well hit into right. Back is Ludwig at the wall. This ball is caught by Ryan Ludwig in right, 2 out.
Right here, Ricky gets another 96-mile-an-hour fastball middle in. And Ryan Ludwig right here fighting the sun, going back in the ball, has to find the fence and makes a great play. I mean, he has impressed me defensively.
I'm going to tell you, Kevin, you haven't seen a ton of him in right. There's nobody playing right field any better than him.
Phenomenal job. And look at old Jason Mott reacting to that play, huh?
Ludwig's made a couple of good plays in this game out in right, and now a ball outside to Craig Counsell.
He really has. He's come in, he's gone back, he's line drives, but just a tremendous game defensively, and that sun is tough right now. Nobody realizes that sun coming over the stadium right in the right fielder's eyes.
That's down and away, 2-0.
It's like night games. You know, you see these lights in these stadiums, and you'll see a fly ball somehow go out in the left field or right field, and the outfielder will lose the ball. You don't realize how miserable that feeling is as a defender.
There's a strike to Counsell, 2-1.
When you lose a ball in the sun or the lights. And it's, you know, I mean, you have the ball, and then it either comes down the lights or comes down the sun, or it starts out in the lights or starts out in the sun. But it's an empty feeling.
2-1 pitch, another strike, 2-2.
Just sometimes at home, you know, where, come on, catch that ball, or what was he doing? When you can't see that ball, it's a scary feeling. You don't know if you're going to be wearing these fake porcelains like I did when I was 26 years old.
Here's a 2-2 pitch.
You're going to be highlighting your hair soon after that.
2 out, nobody on, and Counsell grounds it foul outside first. The tune in to win winners for today, James, Miguel, and Josh. MLB on Fox, tune in to win. Visit foxsports.com/tune in to see your results. If you missed this week's game, make sure to play next week.
We got a ball game here.
I'll say. 4-1 after 1. No scoring until the Brewers got 3 in the 6th to tie it, and that's it.
That all depends.
The 2-2. Counsell spoiled it.
Right there, spoiling a pitcher's pitch, you know. As a hitter, if you can do that right, you got 2-2 pitch, borderline strike, but right here you can just see him just give me another pitch right here. And like we were talking about earlier, we need a mistake as a hitter. And that was Jason Mott put a pitch right there off the plate, which is a pitcher's pitch from the hitter standpoint, and Counsell did a nice job fouling that pitch off.
Now a 2-2, and he goes up after a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, still 2-2. If Counsell can keep it going, big threat waits on deck in Ryan Braun.
This is a big out for Jason. You don't want to have to face Ryan Braun or Prince Field, and you start going that scary zone.
Cardinals have 3 left in their bullpen. Looks like Villanueva will go back out for the bottom of this 9th. That's outside. Full count.
Some kind of change up there.
Yadier Molina could not hang on to it. So a 3-2 count. Front of a packed house here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Now here we go. Here's the cat and mouse game. Stepped out, trying to mess his tempo up a little bit. Jason gets back on that rubber now.
3-2 pitch. And hard hit. Foul ball down the right field line.
You see that right there? Albert Pujols almost straddling the right field line, and they put you in no doubles in a situation like this. Because with 2 outs, you don't want a ball to go by you, and he just got away from the wrath of Lasorda if that ball goes by him. Because they'll put you at both corner positions, third base and first base, no doubles, and try to protect that line.
3-2 is the count. 2 out, nobody on. Counsell trying to fight his way on or pound one here against Jason Mott. Instead, he pops one into shallow right center field. Colby Rasmus is there. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning in St. Louis. Rasmus, Schumacher. Pinch hitter coming up for the Cardinals in a 4-4 game. St. Louis will have Colby Rasmus first up. He's had a perfect day at the plate, 2 hits and a walk. He's hit 9 home runs, went deep last night. Then Schumacher. Then a pinch hitter.
I love these kind of games. Kind of made me stand up my seat. Huh?
I know, you're up. Rasmus waits and takes a pitch high for ball 1. Even up here, you're excited about what we're witnessing down on the field.
This is where every pitch means something. I mean, you know, first inning you have, second inning you have, but now you're in the bottom of the 9th, tie ball game. Fans are going to start getting on their feet.
Rasmus has been locked in, and he fouls it back. He's had some good swings. I know he has a couple of hits, but he seems to really be seeing the ball well right now.
Yeah, sometimes just taking a pitch can lock you in. It's not always about a result. You need just a good bat. And now left-handers, you know, he's been struggling. Obviously, his first home run last night. Came up with a big double today, scored 2, but the thing about it, you could just have a walk, and that can get you going.
The 1-1 pitch from Villanueva. Chop foul, strike 2. Tonight on Fox, Cops at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, followed by America's Most Wanted.
You know, it's funny, as hitters, sometimes we think our swing's messed up. Most of the time, it's our pitch selection. And Colby, like you're saying, seems locked in because he was able to lay off the balls and swing at the strikes. And when we're going bad, it seems like we'll swing at a lot of balls and think, oh, well.
1-2 is just inside. 2-2.
But that, you know, Matt Williams talked about when I was young, and he said, go back and look at your swings, but look at the pitch selection. And most of the time, you're swinging at balls, sliders off the plate, fastballs up. But when you really start swinging at strikes, and Colby's done a nice job of getting himself back locked in, he's had some good at-bats today.
Here's a 2-2 from Villanueva, and a tapper foul as he got a piece.
No breaking ball. He's not full. Still has a good swing. Tough out right here. As a catcher, George Contreras has got to know that too, you know.
See what he puts down with a count 2-2. Stay away from the fastball. Here it is from Villanueva, and it skips in, full count.
You know, Greg Maddux made some good points this year in camp, and sitting next to him, just listening to him, but how he is able to watch when you're a pitcher, watch the swings of the opposing hitters as you're pitching. You don't have to be in the dugout. You don't have to be starting tomorrow. As you're throwing the ball, if this guy looks bad on changeup, throw the changeup again. Make the hitter make the adjustments. And I don't think enough pitchers watch us as hitters, or the hitters, you know, when they look bad on a pitch, throw it again. Make them make that. Instead, you don't have to throw a fastball in, because that's what the book says.
A 3-2. On the inside corner, struck him out, and a good pitch by Villanueva. And a big first out here in the ninth.
Nice pitch right there. Just a curveball that just fooled Colby. Borderline a mistake, but he fooled him, thank God, and he got the first out.
So with 1 out, nobody on, Skip Schumacher, who is hitless on the day and has 1 home run on the season, stands in. Takes a strike.
Skip right there was thinking, man, if I can just have that pitch back. Maybe I should have been ambushing the 0-0. Wanted to swing that 0-0 pitch.
First pitch was a strike. Nick Stavanoa on deck. Been a good pinch hitter for St. Louis this season. Here's the 0-1 from Villanueva. Fooled him. Strike 2. Cameron Lowe struck out the side in the 7th. Villanueva was helped by Jim Edmonds in right to get around the leadoff hit in the 8th. And now a strikeout started the 9th in the 0-2 pitch. Schumacher just got a piece.
Carl's got some good breaking stuff going right now. Great changeup, good curveball. You know, it's funny, you watch Cameron Lowe come in and throw just nasty right-handed breaking balls that were just slurving and threw the ball well. Carlos comes and throws the ball well, and then you look down at the stat sheet and they're 15th in the league in pitching, you know. So you know they're capable of stepping up and putting this thing together.
1 out, nobody on, the 0-2 pitch. Struck him out on a high, hard one. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 9th. And that'll bring in Nick Stavanoa, who the Brewers know well. You go back to early April on the 9th. Cardinals at Milwaukee. Trevor Hoffman pitching. 2 out. A 2-run home run as a pinch hitter by Stavanoa off Trevor Hoffman. And the Cardinals ended up winning that game 5-4.
My favorite home run swing of the year so far. Right there. I mean, back right knee was dirty after that swing. Change up, went down, got it. Boom. Beltre just hit one off Garza about a week ago, doing the same thing on a curveball. Back knee. You never see a guy's back knee get dirty.
Stavanoa waits and takes ball 1 outside. If this game goes to extra innings, The Brewers will have Braun, Fielder, and McGee, the heart of their lineup, due in the 10th.
That just sounds scary.
That's their big lumber coming up. Unless Stavanoa or somebody else does something for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the ninth.
That's a lot of bat speed. 1, 2, 3.
Ryan Franklin now getting loose for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
Some more man hair going to come out.
Here comes a 2-0 to Stavanoa. Trying to end it 2-1. It is definitely an art to pinch hit at the big league level, and Nick Stavanoa, 7 out of 26 as a pinch hitter with 2 pinch hit home runs.
Art it is. The toughest job in all sports, in my opinion. To come off the bench cold.
Good pitch from Villanueva, strike 2.
And the thing is, this is a nice pitch right here, 2-1. Just breaking ball right where he wanted to put it. But the thing with pinch hitting, you're on the bench, you go get loose, you hit up the tee, whatever, but as soon as you get to the box, the game is so fast. And you might want to go up and see a pitch, it's 0-1, next pitch you foul it, you're 0-2. I mean, it's quick. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, now you're in dogfight mode,
Here's a 2-2 pitch with 2 out, nobody on, and Stavanoa just pops it up. Good relief work today by Milwaukee. And the inning is over. We go to the 10th here in St. Louis. Tied at 4. Top of the order will bat for St. Louis in the bottom of this 10th. So a good one. Last night, St. Louis won 8-0 behind Adam Wainwright. Tomorrow, it's a matchup of Manny Parra, who gets the start in place of Dave Bush against Jaime Garcia. But right now, this one hangs in the balance as we go to the 10th, and Ryan Braun, who has a hit, a walk, a run scored. He's 1 for 3, leads off.
Well, there it is, Joe. Manhair has taken the mound. Mr. Franklin, love his goatee.
And you faced this guy in your career for sure.
Yes. A lot of times when he was with Seattle. He has really established himself as a nice little bullpen guy. I mean, he's got a great slider. Definitely his pitch. and can throw it for strikes at any time in the count, which makes him effective. But, you know, keeps the ball down, gets ground balls, nothing overpowering. You walk out there, it's a convenient 1 for 4.
Braun waits for the 1-0. And a tap foul, a ball and a strike.
You don't always have to have 97 and 98. You know, pitching is hitting your spots, trying to execute those pitches, keeping the ball down. You can get outs. I mean, Trevor Hoffman is a perfect example. I mean, last year had a wonderful year for the Brewers. And, you know, I don't think he throws over 87.
He was 37 of 41 saving games last year. Different story this year, 5 for 10. That's in at the knees. Braun thought it was low, and it's 1-2.
Perfect example. You know, ball's down, and right here, you know, Braun probably fouls down, maybe a little bit down, but as a pitcher, you need that pitch.
Braun so far this season has hit 8 home runs. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Franklin, and now a swing and a miss struck him out as that ball ran down and in on the right-handed batter.
That's a great sequence. You can see how they worked Ryan Braun right here. I mean, he started him off with a breaking ball right here, off the plate, went back-to-back breaking ball, slider here, and this is where it got tough. Now he throws a fastball for strike 2, and Braun's probably sitting away and throws a nice sinker down and in for strike 3.
For Jason Mott, an inning and 2/3, all zeros. Good tight breaking ball for strike 1 to Prince Fielder. Mott, an inning and 2/3, nothing, and now Ryan Franklin got the leadoff man, Ryan Braun. And here is Fielder, who has hit 9 home runs, 1 for 4 in this game. And he takes ball 1.
Did you see right there, Yachty? He wanted that ball in, and he made sure Ryan saw him. He set up in, but he's making sure don't throw it for a strike. It's okay right now if you miss in.
Just 1 for 8 in his career against Ryan Franklin is Prince Fielder. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a foul, strike 2.
Got away with one right there. You can see right here, this pitch got too much of the white. Yachty wanted it outside. But see, that was setting him up. The 0-1 breaking ball, the 0 breaking ball, he starts him off strike 1. Then he wants to go in for the ball to go back away there. Obviously, he missed around the plate.
Here's a grounder, foul outside first again.
But it's just all setting up the hitters. It's that cat and mouse game. I'm going to go in a couple times, and I'm going to go away. And that's what we were talking about guessing. When you guess right and they miss, that's when we do damage. The hitters do damage. I keep saying we, you and I, we're not hitting.
No.
We're wearing the headset.
I haven't hit for a long time. Here's a 1-2 pitch from Franklin. And he struck him out. Went with a high fastball. Fielder couldn't lay off. 2 out.
Watch right here on this replay. He wants the ball up high, the catcher Yachty, and he fed it to him with a high fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts on fastballs. And he would have had me guessing wrong both times.
And there it is. I mean, that's 92 miles an hour.
That's it. And probably not playing that hard. You know, 92, Ryan's 92 might be 90-ish. You know, certain guys have that extra little life on their fastball. A guy like Brad Penny on their staff. He's got that four-seamer that kind of jumps. Franklin's more, you know, his slider's his pitch, but he got back-to-back strikeouts on his heater.
Here's McGee, and he couldn't hold up strike 1.
So now you're on deck if you're McGee going, okay, just blew away Prince, blew away Braun, so I'm going to go up there and sit 0-0 fastball, and he starts you off with a breaking ball.
You look at the 7th inning or later in the RBIs, and you're right. I mean, that's how Franklin gets by, and he and Yadier Molina, a good combination to work their way through a lineup.
Half the time when you're facing a pitcher, I always looked at the catcher who was calling the game.
Here's a fly ball down the right field line, slicing foul into the corner, strike 2.
You know, I mean, you'd face a guy that, you know, certain catchers might call fastballs more with guys on first base, worried about throwing the guy out at second base. They don't want to call a breaking ball if a guy's on first because he might steal and the ball in the dirt. You know, some catchers are confident in their arm, and doesn't matter what's on, you know, the bases, they're going to call their game. And, you know, there's always a theory of old Pudge like they used to call heaters with guys on base so he can throw the runner out.
Here comes an 0-2. And McGee strikes out. Now Ryan Franklin strikes out the side. of the 10th. Top of the order. That means Pujols third for St. Louis. Tied at 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. Craig Counsell moves to third base from shortstop. Alcides Escobar is now in the game at short. And pitching and batting in the 5 spot vacated by Casey McGee is John Axford, hard-throwing right-hander who has taken over as the closer for the Brewers.
And one of their few power guys in their bullpen. Zach Braddock, the left-hander's got some 9.234 in him. And old John Axford got a great mustache and a great fastball.
Here is Felipe Lopez, and a ball down and in.
I'm always keeping my eyes on the man facial hair.
The facial hair, you are a big fan. I'm starting to learn. I didn't know that about you.
Look at that stash.
There's a pitch outside. It's 2-0. So you've got Axford, who's a 42nd round pick. 27-year-old closer taking the place of Trevor Hoffman, who's 42 years old. 2-0 pitch, and that's in for strike 1.
Well, John's lucky. Felipe was just trying to get on base right there and taking that pitch. That was a 2-0 pitch right down Broadway.
2 balls and a strike. On deck is Ludwig. Axford brings it, and it's 2-2.
So there you go. You take the 2-0 fastball down the middle, and you buy yourself a 2-1 slider down and in. Now you're in 2-2. You're in battle mode. But look at this nasty breaking ball right there, right down in the zone.
Felipe Lopez, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 for 3, and now 1 for 4 as he strikes out on that same pitch. 1 away. We are back at it in prime time. A few weeks from now, Yankees will be in Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers. Some great matchups around baseball. And it's a primetime special, June 26th at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Cubs and White Sox. Another part of that night on Fox. We did it a couple of weeks ago. And it was well received. And so See that matchup of the Yankees going to L.A. to renew that rivalry in the late 70s, early 80s. And you'll see Joe Torre managing against the Yankees. That's a pitch up to Ryan Ludwig, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 2-0.
It's my defensive player of the game right here. Played a phenomenal right field.
Made 2 good catches, and Jim Edmonds made a very good throw out of right. Here's a 2-0. Ludwig trying to jerk one out of here, 2-1.
That ball had late life right there. That fastball got up and right as it hit the dirt, looked like it went another gear. You can see right here, this ball starts up, looks good as it hit, boom, and just explodes right when it hits the dirt.
Here is a 2-1 pitch. High, 3-1 on deck is Albert Pujols.
Looks like he's got a little deceptive delivery also. Hides the ball well. You know, a lot of times we always look at the radar gun or velocity, but if a pitcher, as a hitter, you have a tough time picking up his release point, but he's kind of got like an awkward looking delivery.
Here's a 3-1. And that got away. Ball 4. Not anywhere close to the strike zone, and it's 1 on, 1 out for Albert Pujols.
You see right here, John Axford right here. You can see him. He almost has that Evaldo Jimenez type where he hides the ball behind his back. But that's tough as a hitter because we're trying to see the baseball find a release point, which we're looking up there around his ear area. And he kind of keeps that ball down below his belt for a while. And that's very similar, like I said, to Evaldo Jimenez, who's got Nintendo numbers for his first, 11, 12 starts.
A visit from Rick Peterson. And it's 1 on, 1 out. These are the matchups coming up next week. Fox Saturday Baseball at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. White Sox, Cubs, Phillies, and Red Sox.
How bad does Mr. Axford want a ground ball right here?
He's got Pujols now. He's got Holiday on deck. Winning run at first. 1 out, ball 1 high. Pujols homered in the first, walked in the third, fouled out in the fifth, struck out in the seventh. "13 home runs on the season. Trying to deliver for this big crowd here in St. Louis. 10th inning, 4-4 game. Pujols takes a strike.
Nice pitch right there, huh? This is danger zone. And he hung a breaking ball, and thank God fooled Albert because he was looking dead red. It's one of those great ones right now. They do not give away in the bat.
Here's a 1-1. Big swing and a foul straight back, strike 2.
Game was almost over, boys. Right here you can see his fastball up in the zone, and that was almost going right center for a walk-off. See the difference of that pitch, it's up in the zone. If you know where it was on the plate middle away, great, but he needs to get that ball down. That's where the ground ball's at, and right now you need to roll one up and get that offense back to the bat rack for the 11th inning.
Here's a 1-2. Left side, ranging for it is Counsell. Out at second, out at first, a double play. 5-4-3. Let's go to the 11th. Edmonds will lead it off. A 4-4 game. We go to the 11th inning on what's turned into a beautiful night in St. Louis. For the Brewers, it will be Edmonds, then Escobar, then Kataris. If anybody gets on, Gomez against the new Cardinal right-hander Mitchell Boggs. Another hard-throwing right-hander, guy with plenty of stuff, still trying to figure it out at the big league level, but he's got a chance. As they say, he's got plus stuff, and he will deal with Jim Edmonds first.
What's Jimmy thinking right now, huh? In front of the old team, old crowd. 11th inning.
Still hitless as a visiting player in this ballpark. He's 0 for 3 in this game with a walk. Took last year off. Made a very good defensive play out in right on a ball hit by Holiday in the 8th. A 1-0. Ball 2-2-0.
You hear that glove pop from up here, huh? 95. Pow! And how good are you to be able to take a year off in baseball, kind of heal the foot, heal the injuries, and then come run on back and make the Brewers team?
Here's a line drive into center. Back is Rasmus, and he can't make the catch. Off his glove, and Edmonds will cruise into second base to start this 11th inning. Turned the wrong way, tried to get back around, and could not get the glove up and make the catch.
And here's a great swing by Jimmy right here, dead center. But it's a hard line drive, and these are the toughest plays for outfielders. Kobe gets turned around a little bit the other way and almost made a good play off his glove. But, you know, that's what we were talking about earlier with Ryan Ludwig. You have to make the right break. They scored that in air?
Wow.
Wow is right.
That's E8 as it stands right now. That may change. It's the 4th error on Rasmus. Runner at second, nobody out. Here's Escobar, who pops up the bunt, and it's caught by Pujols, 1 out. Yadier Molina gets down to third in case Edmonds wants to advance 1 away.
There you go. You know, Pujols is charging in right now. Escobar trying to obviously get the ball on the ground. Pujols does a nice job of making that play. That ball almost landed, but look at Molina. Hustle to third base to cover third because everybody's in right now. And Edmonds could have just taken third, but Molina went over there and covered third. It's a nice play.
So Escobar can't advance the runner. It's a pop-up for an out, trying to bunt, and now Kataris with Edmonds at second, 1 out.
That's a tough error. I'm sorry. I mean, that ball was smoked dead center. He made one, wrong turn, and, turns around last second. The ball's off his heel before he can even look up.
Kataris takes a strike. I'm with you. I thought that was a double.
I mean, there's errors and then there's hits. That's not an error. An error is a bobble, a ball through your legs, you're camped under a ball and you drop it. But that's a hit.
Ball was blasted by Edmonds. He's at second, 1 out. Kataris has a sac fly, has a base hit, 1 for 3 in this game, and he takes strike 2.
On the flip side right there, Escobar's got to find a way to get that ball on the ground. I mean, it's not like he's trying to pop the ball up, but that's a big runner at second base trying to get over to third with less than 2 outs.
And to go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the game, okay, you lose if you're the Brewers to Wainwright last night. Here's an 0-2 pitch. Kataris fouls it away. You have a game against a rookie in Ottavino today. He pitched extremely well. Here's that ball off the heel of the glove of Colby Rasmus. Your team has fought back, tied it at 4. You're in extra innings and got to get that runner over to third.
You have to. I mean, this is where you got a dogfight as a group. It's a big series. You have a chance to win the series. You win tonight, come back tomorrow night and win.
Here's a ball, 1-2.
And that's how you start that little cycle. Every team has runs. I mean, you watch basketball and you watch the NBA, a team goes on a 20-2 run. But right here, I mean, Milwaukee's 10 out. They're not out of it. It looks like they're out of it if the playoffs are going to end in June, yeah. But like I said, we have 100 ball games left. This is a nice series playing against the first place team. You got to find a way to win today.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2.
I like that call by the umpire because that's your catcher to take care of you all 9 innings. Ball's a little bit off the plate. Could have gone either way, but If I'm an umpire, I'm taking care of my catchers.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Looked inside. Runner at second, 1 out. Here it comes from Mitchell Boggs. Ground ball left side. Aaron Miles scoops it up, throws high and safe as the throw pulled Pujols off the bag. It's 2 on, 1 out.
He was safe there, tagged him with his bare hand. Ball was in his glove. And obviously we got to tag the runner either with the ball in the glove or the ball's got to be in our bare hand. But you can see right here a little bit of a high throw. He kind of had to wait for Albert to get there. And Albert went up and made a nice play. And you can see him tag the runner with the bare hand. And you can see after the couple shuffles right here by Aaron, it kind of like he lobbed the ball over. And here he goes, try and tag him up, try and fool the umpire.
So it's 2 on with 1 out for Carlos Gomez. Fly to right his first time up, and he takes the ball inside. So that's, as it stands now, the second error of the inning. Cardinals started the day with 39 team errors, 8th right in the middle defensively in the National League. Gomez with 2 on, 1 out, fouls it, a ball and a strike.
That was nasty. Carlos maybe didn't know this guy's throwing 97 down and in. That ball's almost by him before he started to swing.
Gomez took over in the 8th inning. He's batting the number 9 spot. Ricky Weeks is on deck. The bottom of this inning, it will be Holiday, Miles, and Yadier Molina. Here's a 1-1. Pop-up. Looked like Boggs took something off. And out behind the second base position, infield fly rule was called as Schumacher hauled it in, 2 out.
Farthest bat toss I've ever seen in the Big League level on a pop-up. That bat is over by the first base umpire. The first base coach, Ed, had to jump out of the way. I've never seen a bat toss that far.
I'm glad you saw it. I don't even know how it got down there.
Well, here you go. He pops up. This is pure frustration from the hitter. And just absolutely threw the bat 107 feet down the first base line.
Wow.
First base coach, Ed, he didn't know what was going on. Saw the bat. You know, he's over there watching the runners, making sure Evans doesn't advance.
2 on, 2 out. Ricky Weeks at the plate. Mitchell Boggs trying to pitch around 2 errors in the inning and a check swing, ball 1. Weeks homered his first time up, then fouled out, walked, struck out, fly to right. It's an ankle injury that took David Freese out of the game. That's why he's out and Aaron Miles is in at third. There's a strike. To Weeks' surprise. Miles is due up second for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 11th.
It's the first pitcher day that we've been able to hear the glove pop, right?
Yeah.
Mitchell's throwing the ball hard.
Here is a 1-1. Little squibber, right side. Schumacher makes the play, and the inning is over. Mitchell Boggs pitches around 2 errors in the inning. Matt Holiday set to lead it off for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 11th, tied at 4. Started this game just after 3. And in the bottom of the 11th, it'll be Matt Holliday, Aaron Miles, and Yadier Molina against the hard-throwing right-hander, John Axford. Holliday chops one left side. Escobar comes in, gets it on the second bounce, and gets the out. One away. Aaron Miles, who had his pitcher Mitchell Boggs get around an error he committed in the top of this 11th, will bat. He's 0 for 1. If you're just joining us, David Freese back in the 7th inning. Actually, after the bottom of the 6th inning ended, was looking at a play behind him at second base, took his eye off the bag, slipped on top of the bag, and rolled over his right ankle. So he was taken out. Aaron Miles is in the game. And there's a strike. Here's why Aaron Miles is in the game. David Freese, the rookie, did that to his right ankle. The 0-1. Good breaking ball from Axford, who's been impressive. Strike 2.
Both bullpens have done a nice job. I mean, we go right now, you got 7 hits by Milwaukee and 6 hits by St. Louis. It seemed like most of the action was early in the game, and both sides have settled down nicely.
Miles fouls it, still 0-2.
Good old Tony trying to catch that ball with a hat. He still has it. Well, he still has the instincts. Might be getting a little dark now for those shades now.
That's his look, though.
That's his look. You're exactly right. He deserves to have that look, too.
0-2 the count, and a ground ball, base hit left field. Miles is on with 1 out in the 11th. Well, in case you're wondering, and maybe you remember, Fox Saturday Baseball in St. Louis. Last 2 games, April 17th, the one prior to today, scoreless through 18. The Mets won 2-1 in 20.
I like it.
You're going to get your money's worth today.
I like it.
Brewers are 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Cardinals 2 for 9. Here is Molina. If anybody has incentive to end a long day behind the plate, it's Yadier Molina, as he takes ball 1 down and away.
Yeah, these summer times here in St. Louis, they have to wear on you as a catcher. I mean, what a tough position anyways. You're wearing all this gear and you got these pitchers throwing a bazillion miles an hour. Balls go off your shins, and hitters are fouling off pitches off your shoulder. It's 112 degrees in July, and man, that's the tools of ignorance. I guess that's why they call it. That's why I stayed at first base and third base.
1 on, 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes on Yadier Molina, and a check on Miles. Well, you've got Gutierrez behind the plate. Teams have run when they've wanted to against Gutierrez. He's 1 for 23 and throwing out potential base stealers. That could factor in. There goes Miles. Got a late break and a foul out of play off to the right.
It might have been a hit and run right there. Just because he swung and he was running doesn't necessarily mean it was a hit and run, but Miles on the run, and maybe Yachty said, well, I'm going to get me a heater, and fouled it off.
Yadier Molina is in such better shape than when he first came to the Cardinals, and maybe some of that heat and all that time behind the plate has something to do with it, but he has worked hard on his fitness. He waits for a 1-1. That drops low, ball 2.
Good take right there. Looked like a Bugs Bunny pitch. You know, just fouled off a fastball. You think you're a little late, so now you all of a sudden want to get out there, but he stayed right back there and took that pitch nice.
Axford's got good stuff.
Yeah. He's got a great mustache. I'm going to go back to it one more time. Big fan of it.
2 balls and a strike. And another check on Aaron Miles.
Well, similar count now. It was 1-0 when Aaron left. Right here, Tony could be playing the odds and thinking here's a fastball count. Just laid off a breaking ball. We'll send Aaron and see if Yachty likes it and let him swing away.
Not going, and a foul out of play off to the right. Jose Oquendo, the Cardinal third base coach, goes through the signs as Molina gives him a look.
John has that look like he pitched in the early 70s for the Oakland A's or the Detroit Tigers, you know? Looks like he could have been one of those boys back then.
I agree.
Got that uni, the sleeves are coming out halfway of his jersey. Hair hasn't been cut.
Here's a 2-2. And a base hit into center field. Miles will turn but hold. And it's 2 on, 1 out.
Nice at bat right there by Yachty. Right here, that fastball up and in. He stayed on top of it. And the barrel right there stayed on top of the baseball. That's how White didn't pop it up. You can see his hands come up and hits a nice line drive to center field. That's a nice at bat. Starts some action right here with 1 out.
And brings in Colby Rasmus, who has had a couple of good at-bats in this game. He hit a 2-run double in the first inning, a single in the 6th, walked in between those 2 at-bats, struck out in the 9th.
Likes hitting the ball game. 7th inning or later, he's hitting 300 with a couple homers. They got stats for everything these days.
Here's the pitch to Rasmus. Ball 1 up and away.
Now I got to stand up again.
Decent speed with that lead runner, Aaron Miles. He's the winning run at second. 1 out, 1-0 pitch to Rasmus. On the outside corner, ball and a strike.
Got 2+ arms in the outfield with Carlos in center field, who's got a hose. Obviously, we saw what Jimmy Edmonds did early on in the game, throwing out Holiday, trying to go for 2.
Here's a base hit into right. Here comes Aaron Miles. Jim Edmonds can make a throw. Cardinals win in 11.
Right here, Colby with a big hit to end the game. That ball went right down the middle. He fished it out there, and Edmonds tried to do the best he could. That ball wouldn't hit hard enough to have a play on Aaron anyways. No throw, no play. Little Miles, he's smelling home plate. Skip told him to get out, and he said, no thanks. Great feeling right there.
And so Colby Rasmus stays hot. He homered last night. He has 3 hits and a walk today, 3 RBIs. Knocked home 3 of the 5 Cardinal runs. The winner is Mitchell Boggs. The loser is John Axford. And Aaron Miles, who got the rally started with a 1-out base hit, comes home to score the winning run, and the Cardinals win it 5-4 in 11. We'll take a break, come back, and continue from St. Louis. 5-4, Cardinals win it in 11. Long day of baseball, and the home team wins it.